And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition, another fortnight of StarCraft Evolution League number 11. I'm, of course, your VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to another broadcast of StarCraft Evolution League. It has been far too long. It's been far too long. Unfortunately, our schedule was just so busy last week that we didn't even cast any StarCraft Evolution, if I'm not mistaken. So now we're here to catch up. Of course, this tournament, this is a replay cast. This event did take place over the weekend where we were otherwise busy covering other tournaments. Again, it's just been a really intense period in time when it comes to StarCraft, just because we have DreamHack Dallas, Stars Agora, we had the May Mayhem, we have RSL qualifiers this weekend, we have Homestory Cup. There's a lot. GSL, yeah, GSL is another big one where we're just jam-packed our schedule. So because of that, certain events have fallen by the wayside a little bit. We will be catching up eventually. I'm specifically referring to Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup is definitely a tournament that we're behind by like 3 weeks, so we have to catch up on Kung Fu Cup eventually. We'll get there. Same with StarCraft Evolution League, and same with King of the Hill as well. We'll get there. Also, thank you so much. Acris de Cruz, thank you so much for resubscribing for 4 months. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it, as this week's edition of StarCraft Evolution League is a little bit different, and I feel like partly because of what I mentioned, because there's just so much happening in StarCraft 2. Does feel like potentially a lot of the regulars in StarCraft Evolution are otherwise preoccupied with GSL. Let us switch our seats over and catch up on the bracket. Let's go. Oh, the youthful Yakov. Let's go. But yes, we do have our bracket here tonight, and as you can see, we are missing some key players. We are missing players like Björn, players like Shin. Dark, of course, did retire by this point. He did step away. He did go and conduct his military service. But again, Björn, Hero, Shin, there are some key Koreans that are usually regulars in these tournaments and are usually vying for that championship spot. But GSL, right? GSL was, the qualifiers were 2 weeks ago at this point, and of course the group stage 1 was last week, so I'm sure a lot of them have been focusing on StarCraft 2, less so on StarCraft Evolution. For those who just started tuning in for the first time, maybe wondering, hold up, what's going on? This is StarCraft Evolution, not StarCraft 2. It is a mod. It is a mod in StarCraft 2 that does pit together Brood War and SE2 races, and they do clash here before us. It's a lot of fun. It's very refreshing as well. It's a great break from StarCraft 2. Of course, as always, our main focus is StarCraft 2, and that is, of course, our main passion as well. It is the game mode that we enjoy the most, but every now and then it's fun to take a break and to dip our toes into StarCraft Evolution. Every now and then. And again, because of that, it looks like this week the turnouts for certain caliber players was a little bit lower, a little bit leaner, but regardless, we have a solid lineup nonetheless. We have more European representation here instead. Still some Koreans, don't get me wrong. I will say though that coming into this, we're stepping into the quarterfinals. 3-point versus Prime, we don't have access to those replays, unfortunately, so we did miss that series, but we'll be covering YoungYakov versus MidVK, Wayne versus Rebellion, non-stop ZVPs here tonight. StarCraft Evolution League is usually dominated by Terran, usually players like Björn, like Spirit, like Hon Mono. They're not here. They're not here though. They're not here. They're not in the quarterfinals, as I mentioned before, just because the season of SE2 has now kicked into high gear when it comes to EWC, when it comes to Stars Agora, when it comes to all these offline events. I'm sure a lot of the regular SE2 competitors are taking a break from StarCraft Evolution and focusing on StarCraft 2. Which again makes sense. Which does make sense. Let's go. How does he more even? 100%. Always. So here we go. We're going to be stepping into the ring. We do have our first 2 series here before us here in the quarterfinals. We're going to be covering YoungYakov versus MidVK, Wayne versus Rebellion, then stepping into the semis, then stepping into the grand finals thereafter. Here we go as we get into game 1. Game 1 going to be on Neo Isles of Siren. What a way to start the broadcast. It's beautiful, papi. It's beautiful. Let's go. The best map out there. It's amazing. It's amazing. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of YoungYakov of Siren, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg himself. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing StarCraft Gaming. It is Biweekly. Here we go. Again, our quarterfinals are ready for us. And for those of you that were curious as to why I was, again, enjoying myself so much coming into game one, welcome to YoungYakov of Siren. This is one of the few island maps in the tournament map pool. Again, StarCraft Evolution, they're not afraid to spice things up when it comes to their maps. Some for good, others for bad reasons. There's definitely some questionable maps out there when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, but they're willing to explore, they're willing to branch out, they're willing to make mistakes and then rectify those mistakes and then get rid of some maps and then introduce some other maps, and yeah, just have a little bit more freedom with that. And here we go. Welcome to YoungYakov of Siren. This is a 4-player spawn map. We spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top right, or top left. Meanwhile, YoungYakov comes in with the Overlord, and with the help of the Overlord, he will scout immediately what is going on. Let's go. Does move in, does scout, does confirm the expansion, is aware. Of course, Biweekly, what do we see? Nexus before Gateway. So Pylon, Nexus here out of Biweekly. I mentioned before, we're on island maps. We are completely cut off here by these small rivers that do cut the map into 4 big quadrants. Because of that, you can be hyper greedy like this. Same YoungYakov, he does go hatch into gas pool. Again, you can cut as many corners as possible here because you are completely safe from early game aggression. Yes, Stargate openers, and there can be Stargate play and Nidus worms and all that good stuff, but that does hit later on in the game stage. So you can cut as many corners as possible coming into an island map like this. So he cut all the corners. From here, at least YoungYakov is aware of his opponent's location. Biweekly should be aware as well. I believe the probe, yep, I mean, if he didn't before, he does see it now. He does see the Overlord, so they do spot each other. So now they know that they are close spawns. Close spawns here between YoungYakov and Biweekly. From here, we have seen some interesting builds, some interesting styles. Bearing in mind, this is Brutal Protoss against SC2 Zerg. Brutal Protoss is less mobile. I was going to say that we have seen players go into ground toss and go into warp prisms to harass and warp in and commit into an all-in across the map, rush into motherships for mass recall. But for Brutal Protoss, I would say that Sky Toss is probably more viable here, whether it's getting into Sky Toss or whether it is going into, I guess you can go to some shuttle play, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to reinforce. So I feel like Sky Toss is a must here for Biweekly. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, he has options. You can go into mutas, right? You can go into muta play, you can go into Nidus play, you can go into Droplord play instead. There are options here for YoungYakov with how mobile he wants to be, with how he wants to try to leapfrog over onto some of these other islands. But mutas is the most common. Some map makers use the incredible power for evil. Exactly. Oh no. Not like this. Looking at you, Return of the King. I'm still it's still a clown map. But now though, it is going to be +1 air attack. We have the Stargate on the way, so again, no surprise here. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Biweekly heading into Sky Toss. This should automatically deter any kind of muta play, just because Corsairs shut down mutas so hard. Corsairs, for those that are curious, they're kind of like the Phoenix, but not, in the sense that Corsairs do splash damage. So as mutas naturally stack, well, they get punished for stacking, and they take so much damage to a handful of Corsairs. Now, we did have a patch like a month ago at this point, and I haven't actually casted too much StarCraft Evolution since the patch, but there was a patch that did nerf the amount of damage that Corsairs did. I say Corsairs, in general, AoE damage from Corsairs and Valkyries was reduced, just because it was very punishing, and it would completely shut down not just mutas but Vikings as well in TVT between Valkyrie and Viking and other air-based units. So it was really strong, really punishing. It is now less so. It's still really powerful, but what you could achieve earlier with like 5 Corsairs, now you need like maybe 8 Corsairs. So you need slightly more Corsairs to achieve the amount of critical damage that you would previously. speaking of the Corsairs on the way, meanwhile, Yakov is going into the Spire. Now, thankfully for Yakov, we do see that MinoVK, he's going Carrier first. He's going Carrier plus Corsair at the same time. He's not rushing into pure Corsair. Because of this, the Corsair count is going to be a little bit lower, and there might be an opportunity for Mutas. Otherwise, we could just go straight into Corruptor. True. This could just be straight Corruptor instead. We'll see what Yakov does go for. As the Infestation Bit's on the way. That should be for Hive Tech. That should be for Spellcasters, Vipers, I would imagine. And we'll see what Yakov does invest into first. Corruptor or Muta. I feel like Mutas are a bait, but at the same time, it's only one Corsair. Look at this. We're going into Mass Carrier here. So if MinoVK doesn't realize what's going on and he hasn't fully scouted, he might get caught off guard here. By something a little bit faster, by something a little bit stronger. Bearing in mind that carriers do need their upgrades to be able to increase the capacity of interceptors to 6 or to even 8, I believe, at least 6. Right now they're at 4 by default, so the carriers early on aren't actually quite too strong, at least not without the upgrade. And yep, there it is, Corruptor. Okay. This makes more sense here. So again, Muta play is going to be deterred. We're going into Mass Corruptor instead. This does make more sense. And with the amount of Corruptors that we're making, interesting, we're Dropper Lord for support as well. I was going to say, with the amount of Corruptors we're making, can we try to break this position early on? The carrier count is still quite low, and these carriers are quite vulnerable. There we go. You can see that MinoVK is creating this outpost. We have shield batteries, we have cannons on the way. MinoVK is fortifying himself here at his forward base. Some of the Corsairs have been revealed. Corruptors they do threaten the expansion. MinoVK out of position. And the Nexus is going to go down. Corsairs, they try to punish. They do get one of those Corruptors. Just the one. So nice pick off here by YoungYakov. Oh god. Does turn to fight. Does get punished for it. Doesn't quite get a Corsair. Oh. Doesn't quite, but as we mentioned, it did rush into a Hive, and we're rushing into Vipers. So again, Vipers are going to help so much against this. We did speak on stacking, and Parasitic Bombs can help against the Corsairs. Abductions can help pick up the carriers one at a time. At this stage of the game, I am concerned that MinoVK isn't too familiar with Skytoss, just because I don't see an upgrade here. Specifically, I don't see the carrier upgrade yet. To be fair, for me, it might be hidden behind, I'm pretty sure it is behind the Fleet Beacon though. I was gonna say it might be behind another prerequisite tech structure, but I'm pretty sure it's only behind the Fleet Beacon. So these carriers are weaker than they should be at this stage of the game. So far, YoungYakov once again still patrolling. We have more shield batteries, more cannons on the way. The drop lords are only to expand. I was curious if we were going to be supporting with like infestors and fungals or something like that, but looks like that is not the case. We're just going Mass Corruptor. Going Mass Corruptor. There we go. Nidus Worm as well. Vipers are stocked up, and we're looking for reductions. And again, we still have yet to invest into those carrier upgrades. And again, I'm fairly certain that it is available here. It is accessible. Wait, speaking of, I believe that's it. Oh, let's go. Maybe we'll power bomb here on the carriers. Oh, first Viper gets started down. We dive, and we stack on top of the carriers. Oh god, oh no, oh god, that was not it. He tried to go for the power bomb trick. Oh no. Oh, well, Yakov just lost everything. So what just happened? So first things first, one, the carrier upgrade just finished. Now we get up to 8. That's it. 8, not 6. So 8 interceptors now per carrier, so the carrier's now stronger. What just happened here is that what you do against StarCraft 2 Skytoss is you Parasitic Bomb, you stack on the carriers, and then you can kill the interceptors, because the interceptors they stack on the Parasitic Bomb because the Corruptors are stacked on the Parasitic Bomb. What usually deters that is Archons. Basically, what we just saw, YoungYakov, he did not respect the Corsair. He's like, oh, there are no Archons. That means I can stack. He stacked. The Corsairs killed everything. Oh my god. That was 22 corruptors going down. That's game. That was everything. Oh no. So Yakov finding out the hard way how much Corsairs can punish and how much they will punish. Oh no. So yeah, do not stack. The Parabomb stacking trick does not work if there are Corsairs. They're even stronger than the Archon. With that, so you can see YoungYakov has a massive supply lead, and it's gonna take a long time to recover. I don't think YoungYakov can. I'll be honest. I don't think he has the economy for it. Like, now it's time for YoungYakov to pop off. Classic combo, 22 corruptors into death. Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a learning curve. Obviously, there's a learning curve. You have to be experienced when it comes to dealing with this composition. And again, Corsairs, they shut down mutas, they shut down any form of stacking like that. The ideal, I would imagine, then would be to just abduct one carrier at a time. Especially because there are no Tempest. Typically in SE2 versus SE2 Zerg and Protoss, you have the Tempest punish you, right? Because the Tempest have so much range, if the Viper tries to go in for an abduction with good enough control, you can pull away the carriers and you can push forward the Tempest and you can snipe, right? You can snipe the Vipers, or of course you can use feedback from the High Templar as well. Here, I would imagine, because there are no Tempest and because there are no High Templar with this army, I would imagine you have to take it slow. You have to take it slow, you have to like abduct one at a time. Speaking of, yep, there we go. We have to try to just abduct slowly, surely, and pick away at the army. Nice Parabomb here on the Corsairs. Not bad. Likewise, targeting the Corsairs with Parabombs instead, so that was a better engagement here from YoungYakov. But after the earlier loss, he has to keep this up. Like, he still has a lot of pressure. He's going in front of the dive. Oh. Calm down. Calm down. But I would say that there's less dive potential against pure brutal Skytos than there is with SE2 Skytos. I would say for StarCraft 2, it is more necessary to have a ground army to support you with Archons and Storm. Here, it seems like you can achieve the same result with pure Skytos for brutal Protoss, which is crazy. Arbiter has arrived. Arbiter is almost going to be targeted down. But yeah, like, basically the Corsairs, they play the same role that the Storm and that the Archons play, essentially. At least for anti-air, right? Obviously they don't shoot down. They have disruption webs. Regardless, Fungal here on the army, the Fungal does nothing, and yeah, YoungYakov is just going to stabilize control. He's just going to stabilize control from here. Is pushing through. And there's just nothing that YoungYakov can do. Not anymore. Not after the earlier loss. Again, 22 Corruptors for nothing is just a brutal way to start the match. And the Skytos does get out of hand. Corruptors again for the final dive. Oh god, the Corsairs, they completely mow their way through the Corruptors. Jesus. Yeah, with that, there's nothing left. GG gets called, and YoungYakov will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. YoungYakov does take a lead in the series. Again, we actually haven't seen too much PvZ on Neo Isles of Siren just because Terran has been so dominant as of late, and we usually get Terran matchups. But yeah, I feel like this does a great job at showcasing the difference between Brood War Skytos and SE2 Skytos. As I mentioned, SE2 Skytos, going pure Skytos in StarCraft 2 is pretty bad. It's not very good, just because you're lacking that support, you're lacking that splash damage. Void Rays, they don't hold a candle to what an Archon and a High Templar provide to your army, right? Whereas, as I mentioned, here for Brood War, the Corsair does it all when it comes to supporting your army, just because of the splash damage that they provide, of course. Bearing in mind the Corsairs, they only do that against other air units, so if there was any kind of ground support, they're less effective. But that, yeah, I don't think that matters anywhere near as much, though. Especially on an island map. I was gonna say that against pure Skytos on a regular map, you could argue that maybe Hydra Lurker Viper or Hydra Lurker Infestor is a little bit more viable, but specifically I'm referring to pure Skytos. But even then, like, it's, yeah, I mean, that's when you can try to rely on disruption webs, for example, to break up a ground army, to counter, you know, something like Hydra Tech, of course. And Yeah, it definitely proves to be a different kind of issue, different problem. Regardless, GG well played. Yeah, Yakov, he found out the hard way. He to find out the hard way. And with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Was the cloak is the arbiter? Yes, as is being explained in the chat, the arbiter does provide a passive cloak. Unlike the mothership is an ability that you have to activate. For the arbiter, it is a passive cloak, but I believe the cloak range and the radius around the arbiter is shorter than that of the mothership. So it is not uncommon to get multiple arbiters, not just for cloaking but also for stasis fields. We didn't get to see it come into play, but that would also help against any kind of ground army. Is stasis fields, they can completely shut down a ground force as well. Like the brutal Protoss Armada is crazy. It's crazy good. But here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MindoVK. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, going gas first. It is YoungYakov. Go. We go. As we are settling into our next game. And this time we're going to be settling into one of the more standard, one of the ladder maps. I say standard. We're going to be loading into one of the ladder maps. This map is shorter rush distance by ground, more aggressive, more assertive. Early game aggression can be favored here on Pylon. And we'll see how YoungYakov will open up here. Now, when it comes to Brood War openers, when we had early gas, there we go, some very fast second gas geyser. This feels like the goal is to rush into a fast lair. If we're rushing into a fast lair, I'm leaning towards mutaplay. Maybe fast gases like this can support, can support Hydras, and we are rushing into a very fast Hydra den. Okay, I was leaning towards lair, but no, fast Hydras instead. So Yakov is going for a Hydra rush. He is going for early game aggression. This is not a standard opener by any means. And MindoVK is unaware. Now, unfortunately, MindoVK, what did he see? He saw the late expansion, he saw the early gas, but he doesn't see the tech. This is on MindoVK. The probe was here, the probe did not scout. He has a piece of the puzzle. As I mentioned, he's aware that the base is late, he's aware that the gas is early, but in his mind, like I was thinking, this could be fast lair. This could be a fast lair, or it could be fast Hydras. Both are available, both are viable. As Yakov does slip in. Still on MindoVK to piece it all together. Is he just Yakov now? Is he getting old like the rest of? We have casted old Yakov before. Like he has changed his ID to old Yakov in the past, but now he's not young, he's not old. He's just Yakov. He just is. Oh no. Meanwhile, Adept does shade in. Massive scout gets eyes on the Hydrogen already. And again, you can see Yakov, his drone count is very low. 19 workers. He is not saturating his natural base whatsoever. It is going to be essentially a one base all in. One base all in. Second base just for larva, and it's all or nothing with the Hydras. And back at home, bam! Wall of shield batteries. Shield batteries are on the way. Adepts are amassing. Twilight Council as well. Twilight Council won't help too much here in the defense, which is my big concern. We need gateways more than anything. We need another gateway. We need a robo would have been ideal going into Glaive Adepts. A bold move here by MindoVK. Bearing in mind that the Brutal Hydra does not count as a light unit, so Glaive Adepts do less damage to Brutal Hydras than regular Hydras, or than SC2 Hydras. Shield batteries are done, but so is Hydra speed for these Hydras. Again, they're so mobile here. They start to step in. Gateway's gonna go down. MindoVK trying to engage. Oof. As one Hydra falls. Hydra does fall up. Once again, started stepping in. I mean, the shield batteries, they're putting in a lot of work. Boys are being... There's the pylon! Oh no, the pylon! No, not like this yet. The pylon goes down, and there are no backup pylons. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, there's no backup pylons. We have more shield batteries finishing up, but the shield batteries, they remain depowered. And that might just be game. That might just be game then and there. Stalkers are being forced back. Glaives are on the way. Again, I don't think Glaives going to help too much. Boys are being pulled. Oof, as another Stalker goes down. There's 2 Stalkers left. Thankfully, everything does get repowered, but he can only warp in 1 Stalker at a time. And behind this, Yakov, he begins to drone. He begins to drone up. Takes down 13 probes. Likewise collapsing on that last Stalker, but the shield batteries are ready for this. Going for the pylon. Oh, can he keep it alive? He barely can. He barely can. Not enough DPS. Yakov, he has to back off. He has to pull away. Going for the lair. And I would imagine heading towards the lurker tech. But again, the drone count is still very low. It's such a low drone count. MinoVK, he did lose 13 probes in the defense. 14 probes even. But he can rebuild. I mean, Glaives are done, I suppose. True. Glaives has completed as an upgrade. There are 2 adepts. They can wreak havoc. They can try to pop off. So it is lurker production, or lurker tech is on the way. Adepts, they do threaten a shade. Shading into the main. Drones are going to be going down, getting 1, 2 drones so far, getting a 3rd. Not bad. Killing 3 workers. He also scouts that the hydrogen is still researching. Can piece together that lurkers are on the way. And MinoVK, he's trying to recover economically here, but he has no detection. Like, this rush into lurker tech, it may just end the game. There's no Stargate, there's no Robo, so there's no Observer, there's no Oracle, there's no Revelation, no detection. MinoVK moving out on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Yakov, he's not droning. Like, he has stopped droning at this point. He's massing on more Hydras, massing on more Lings. Lurkers are scouted. And now Yakov is trying to dive on the army. So we're going to dive in. Star steps forward. Nice pickup. Takes down an adept. Adepts, they do get behind the mineral line. They are forcing YoungYakov back home. And now we have the robo on the way. Honestly, really crucial here. MinoVK is just buying time. He's just buying time. He's keeping the army busy. Shades into the main. Gets another drone. Takes down 5 workers. Aye. 5 drones go down. And Yakov, he has to re-drone. The timing that it was going for, he missed it. He missed that timing. Now he has to drone up. Now he has to saturate. We do have a force to be reckoned with, though. We'll see if Yakov can make use of it. But now, turtling up. The lunkers are turtling. Yakov is droning. Okay, we're getting into a longer game. Let's go. Getting into a longer game state. Setting up on the high ground. And we're just gonna calm down. Yeah, we're just calming down. Yakov, he's still not really droning though. Like, that's my big concern. Like, he droned up a little bit, up to 2 bases, but he's just leaving that 3rd base completely alone. He's massing up. He's going for another push. This time, 2 base all in. 2 base all in at YoungYakov. He refuses to drone. He makes up more lurkers, more hydras. Now there is an observer. Thankfully, there is an immortal. Adepts, they confirm no drones. Yeah, they shade across, they confirm there's nothing here. Ooh, diving in the army. He wants the Immortal, and he's gonna get it. Yeah, massive pick up. Immortal goes down. Lurkers, their range is much shorter in Brood War, so shorter lurker, or just shorter range in lurkers. Despite that, they still collapse on the army. They're moving in. They are moving in. Lurkers, they nibble away at the wall. And they will bring it down. Oh god, as the army just cannot push through that choke point. There's no moving into that. Hydras, they move in front. Another Cyber Core going to be going down. And Biweekly is going to try to break out, but oh god, he cannot push into that many Lurkers. Not like this. Not like this. And Yakov, he has done it. He's breaking through for a second time. Lurkers are pushing in. Once again, the range isn't ideal, so the army can step away, but the base itself is under fire. The base itself is going to be going down. Behind this, Spire's on the way. Okay. Spire's on the way, diving on the main army. GG gets called, and Yakov will tap the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We're going to the ace match here. Again, hyper aggression out of Yakov. Just going for the initial 1 base all in, followed by the 2 base all in, just never really allowing Biweekly to stabilize. And now we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Vermeer. Let's go. Another 4-player small map. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the red Protoss player representing Psystorm Gaming, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Biweekly. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player, the Broodor Zerg. It is YoungYakov. So we have Broodor Zerg up against SC2 Protoss. Here we go. Biweekly with the instant vertical scout. He does go south to the south side of the map, and he will find YoungYakov immediately. So a quick scout here out of Biweekly. Bearing in mind this is a 4-player spawn map, you can spawn in any corner of the map, but Biweekly, he will find YoungYakov immediately. Does find him. Does poke in, does confirm. As Yakov, he does scout vertically as well, so he will find his opponents also instantly, so they're both familiar with each other's spawn location. Bearing in mind, sorry, I didn't get to point it out, but there is a change that was recently made to the mod where 4-player spawn maps, they are still 4-player spawn maps, but at the start of the game they actually ping certain locations, and they do eliminate one of the possible locations. So then it becomes like kind of 50-50 with whether or not you find your opponent. So there's less RNG. There's less RNG here on a map like Vermeer or near Isles of Siren. Just because now there are only 2 possible spawn locations that you're aware of, not 3. Meanwhile, Jesus, once again, we're rushing into fast tech. Now, remember, last game, we rushed into a fast Hydra Den. This time, rushing into a fast lair. Okay. Now, because of the faster lair, I'm leaning more towards Spire play. There aren't really that many options when it comes to Broodor Zerg, when it comes to your tech, just because there's no Roach Warren, there's no Bailey Nest. So it's either going to be Ling Hydra or Ling Spire, Ling Muta, one or the other. And because Hydra tech is hatch based and the gases are being taken, this all screams 2-base Muta. It screams 2-base Muta. We have Ling Speed now being researched after the lair. Biweekly himself opening up Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener. From here, I'm imagining Glaive Adepts, maybe even DTs. DTs will be a little bit less effective here, just because of the Overlords. And there it is, Spire into Mutas, which is to be expected. As we mentioned, like, there's only really 2 different two different tech paths here for Broodor Zerg. It's either Hydras or Mutas. And the lair did scream Muta. as Minuvike does move out. You know, that's one of the things about brutal races here in, I mean, not just in StarCraft Evolution, in brutal in general, is compositions are a lot more limited. They're a lot more limited compared to an SC2, but the army himself, the units themselves are obviously more powerful here, so that makes up for it. Makes up for the just less units that are available. Minuvike threatening a dive, trying to get a read on what's going on. Minuvike, he hasn't seen much at all. He hasn't seen the gas. He hasn't seen the lair. But as I mentioned, it is only 2 options. So Minuvike, he should have an idea what's going on. He's rushing into charge. This is gonna be interesting. On the one hand, he's going for his own 2 base all in. So Minuvike is going for his own 2 base all in. The problem though is that when this prism goes down, and it should be found by the mutas soon, I mean that's gonna be the end of it. Mutas, a cannon will shut down this prism. Here comes the attempted warp in. The warp in will complete. Yeah, it does barely complete in time. And how many drone kills? How many workers can we kill before the mutas do clean this up? Going for the mineral line. Getting 3, getting 4 drone kills so far. Getting up to 5. 5 workers. I mean, this is decent damage here, but back at home, we need some anti-air. We need something that shoots up. Gas is now being taken. Stalkers warping in, but these are going to be vanilla stalkers here from Minuvike. And Yakov knows that. He just scouted. He just saw the charge, right? He just saw charge. He knows, Twilight Count's opening to charge. I know you don't have blink. You don't have blink. You don't have anything else. As Muse, they take their time getting across the map. Zealots, they do help buy that time. More Stalkers warping in. Yakov towards the main. Collapsing all the Stalkers themselves. Takes down 2. 2 for 1. Likewise, you can one-shot probes. Getting another 6, 7, 8, 9 probe kills. Aye. 9 workers go down. He just fights the Stalkers. Yeah, he can just turn and fight. There's 3 Stalkers left. 2 Stalkers remaining. Down to 1. And soon to be down to none. Oof. As there's just nothing here at home to defend. A couple of Zealots, they do peel off across the map, but there's a full wall. Mineral line goes down. And YoungYakov, he gets out of hand. GG gets called. YoungYakov with, I would say, a hard counter. Remember, Minuvike, he went for a 2-base charge all-in against 2-base Muta, which meant that he had no answer to the Mutas. GG. GG. YoungYakov will claim the series. He will advance on to the semifinals, and the question becomes, I believe we already know who he will face off against, but we do have another quarterfinals match ahead of us. We have another match ahead of us here. Up next, we just wrapped up with Minuvike versus YoungYakov. Up next is going to be Wayne versus Rebellion in another ZVP. Let's go. We have another ZVP ahead of us. As once again, game 1. Neo Eyes of Siren. They're crazy. Okay, let's go. We're jumping into, once again, the island map. I'm not opposed to it. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Neo Eyes of Siren, we have the StarCraft 2, sorry, the Brood War Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg player himself, the Red Zerg. It is Wayne. In the top right-hand corner of Neo Eyes of Siren, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Green Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss, the Pink Protoss for among SC2 people. It is Rebellion. Okay, so we have a role reversal here. Now, last series, we saw SC2 Zerg against Brood War Protoss, and we saw how dominant the Brood War Protoss was, but now the roles have been reversed, and we'll see how the dynamic changes. What I will say is that SC2 Protoss can be very dynamic when it comes to how they want to play this out. I mentioned this before. Doesn't have to go into Sky Toss. We could see a Stargate opener into Mass Phoenix, into like just Mass Phoenix into Skytos, of course. That is possible, that is viable. We could instead see Blink. We could see a Twilight Council opener into Blink, into like a Blink based all-in with a Warp Prism to reinforce. We could see Blink into Charge, and we could see a rush into a Mothership to recall everything across the map. We have seen a lot of very differing and very dynamic Protoss plays in this matchup already on Neo Vows of Siren, and Rebellion is one of those players that does enjoy rushing into Mothership, so that is the option. That is an option here for him. He might opt to choose to go for ground toss into a Mothership. We'll see. But again, there are more options here for SCG Protoss as opposed to Brood War Protoss, where, as I mentioned previously, it has to be Skytoss just because there's no warp-in mechanic, just because there's no warp gate. So, and likewise, there's no blink either. Like the Brood War Protoss ground army and army in general is just so much more immobile. On an island map, you kind of have to go Skytoss. I don't really see ground toss working anywhere near as well. Like trying to go ground toss into Mass Arbiter sounds really difficult. On an island map. But here we go. Meanwhile, Stargate. Okay, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of Rebellion. Now, whether this is like an Oracle opener or a Phoenix opener into ground toss, yet to be determined. We'll keep an eye on Rebellion. Game 3, he'll be Yakov Sr. Oh no. Not like this. Telling you, right? He's young adult Yakov. Young adult Yakov. And yeah, that's what we assume. So, as you mentioned, Stargate opener into a Twilight Council and a Forge into ground toss. So this does look like plus one of Blink Stalkers, and as I mentioned before, we have seen Rebellion rush into Mothership in the past. So that's going to be in the back of my mind at least. That's why we brought it up. Meanwhile, across the map, rushing into a lair. Ooh, interesting. So we are rushing into the lair, but we did go for a Hydra Den first. So Wayne is going also into ground Zerg. Now, something that is different here about Brood War Zerg, yep, there we go, Overlord Speed is on the way, is that unlike SC2 Zerg, I mean, SC2 Zerg used to be like this as well, Drop-A-Lords. Currently, in modern StarCraft 2, you can only morph in one Drop-A-Lord at a time. In the past in StarCraft 2, and also in Brood War as well, you would just get the upgrade, and Overlords by default, every Overlord turns into a Drop-A-Lord. So every Overlord can morph in, and can become a transport unit. It's not like an individual morph. Oh, meanwhile, the Oracle does hit the natural, getting 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, 6 drones, no spore. Ay. Greedy play there by Wayne. Wayne, he gets punished, and Rebellion is fully aware. He's fully aware of what's going on. He's aware of the Hydras. Oh no! Does overextend. But he's aware of the Hydras. He does cripple the economy. And this screams Drop-A-Lord play. The reason why, of course, is Nidus Swarms also work differently. I believe to get a Nidus up and running, you actually need creep. But you can see the Drop-A-Lords are amassing. Or the soon-to-be Drop-A-Lords. So we are building up. There we go, Eva Chamber is done. We have Ventral Sacks on the way. That is, of course, to morph them into Drop-A-Lords. And Hydras are building up. Meanwhile, behind this, do you see what I see? +1 in charge. I assumed it was going to be Blink Stalker, but no. It's going to be Mass Charge Lot into a Warp Prism. We are not going for a Mothership. We're not going for a Mass Recall. We're just going for a Mass Warp In. So again, thanks to the Warp In mechanic, you can just warp in right into another island. And here we go. Rebellion does move out. When he becomes old man Yakov, his suspenders will give him an advantage because he can't be caught with his pants out. True! Someone get this man some suspenders. Let's go. As here we go, Rebellion, he does sneak onto the island. Does sneak on. Vengeful Sax is almost done. But Charge will see how moving out. They get spotted! Yeah, they do get spotted. Yakov is now aware. He's getting ready. Drop lords have amassed. That's plenty of hydras, by the way, because Wayne was going for his own hydra base all in, a mass drop lord all in. Like, he has a massive army. Wayne, he has to get out of here. Like, he cannot fight this. He can trade one at a time, true, but like, he cannot dive into this head on. There are just so many hydras. Lurker tech is on the way. Rebellion does dive in, takes down the first line of hydras. But nice kiting here by Wayne, and Wayne, he will clean this up. Like, he will clean this up. There are just too many. Like, he was already cutting workers. Like, Wayne did not saturate. He did not drone. And I have to favor Wayne. I have to favor Wayne here. Nice force fields. But Wayne's army will just scale better into a longer... Very nice. Jesus. Very nice force fields. Oh, my God. Wayne's army will scale better. As we do see Rebellion dropping over into the 4th, or into the 3rd. Prism almost goes down. Zelsa get left behind. We do get a Zell run by into the main base mineral line. Prism here towards a 3rd. The warp-in will complete. Yeah, Zelsa in all the bases, in all the mineral lines. Prism does go down, but we still have Zealots in the bases. They're still wreaking havoc. Drones are falling left and right. Rebellion targeting down whatever he can. As he does take down 16 drones. And Wayne is down to 27. He barely has an economy. 26 drones left. And back at home, Rebellion expands. Rebellion does expand, getting up to his own 3 base setup. Now, the drop lords are still going to be a threat, of course, and we're going for lurker drops. Meanwhile, Rebellion, do we have any detection? He does have the Stargate for oracles. He has Archons amassing as well. He has a robo, but currently 0 detection. Currently. Archon drop is moving out. Oh, he's taking the center base. Bold move. Meanwhile, there we go. We have a lurker drop on the right, a lurker drop on the left. And Rebellion, he will miss the lurkers. And again, so far, 0 detection. Now, are there any defensive lurkers? No. Oh, sorry, there are 2. Okay, there are 2 defensive lurkers. That's all you need to protect the base, at least. But here come the drop lords. Lurkers 1 for each mineral line, 0 detection. Observers just now on the way. And with that, 0 mining. 0 mining here for Rebellion. He has no economy. And again, with 2 lurkers to defend, there's still 0 detection. 1 lurker in each space. There's 1 observer out. Just the 1. Now, Rebellion, he can just fight anyway. It's only 2 lurkers. If he wanted to, he could just kill these hydras and keep going. He's giving Wayne a lot of time. He's respecting these 2 lurkers a lot. As there we go. He does go into the mineral line. There we go. Now he just ignores the lurkers. Again, it's only 2, so we can just go straight for the hydras. Oh, the prison did go down. Wait, not yet. Okay, thank God. Prison did survive. Archons have to be a part of the fight, though. Yeah, they're a little bit distracted. They're attacking the building. They have to move forward. There we go. They collapse on the hydras. I'll pick up micro. Nicely done. 20 more drones going down. Oh, Prism gets targeted. Nice cleanup. Wayne, he will survive, but he'll still bleed out 26 workers. Meanwhile, back at home, we still have not dealt with this. Lurkers are still popping up. There's still 2 lurkers. 2 lurkers here at the natural. He's also working in defensively. Nice control. 0 anti-air. Where are the Archons? Rebellion does take down 1 more lurker. There's 1 lurker remaining. Center base was far too greedy. The Sim City working against Rebellion. Oh no. Going for the pylon. But there we go. Now we got some stalkers. Meanwhile, defensive warping back at home. Okay. Defensive center base. 1 lurker left for the most part. Rebellion looks like he has held. He has cleaned this up. And who do we favor coming into this? Well, Wayne is down in drones, but he does have more lurkers, and he can just keep going for drops. True. Just send out more drops. Speaking of, cannons are on the way to help defend. As Void Ray will hunt down the initial drop lord. When he attempts to drop back in. But I do have to give the edge to Rebellion here. Like Rebellion, he's just so much more mobile when it comes to his counterattacks, when it comes to his Warp Prism, when it comes to his defensive Warpins as well. I say that Wayne doing a great job here, just being as annoying as possible. Oh no! Get out of here! Oh my god, does save the lurker just barely. Spoke too soon. Lunker's gonna go down. We have a massive drop and getting ready. When he is somewhat droned up. And Wayne, he should be able to break the center expansion at least. There's only 3 zealots, and there's limited warpins. So here we go, the Dream Drop is moving in. Wayne, he's got 10 lurkers and 4 hydras. And with that Rebellion, he should not be able to save this. Lurkers, they attempt to borrow. 1 lurker goes down. Oh my god, 1 lurker does fall. Okay, just the 1. And from there, lurkers, they will overwhelm. Behind this Rebellion, he needs to warp in. Getting Archons, Immortals, Void Ray. Rebellion does take top left. Rebellion getting ready for his own drop. Once again, there are defensive lurkers. Wayne, he's stabilizing. Not just stabilizing, I would say getting ahead even. Nice Zealot drop. Zealot drop delays, going for another Zealot warp in. At this point, the effectiveness of these Zealots, it's not as great as it once was. That's also cleaned up. Fleet beacons on the way, and again, this should be for the mothership. Should be for the mothership. Once again, another Doom Drop. Setting up for another drop. Storm is on the way. Like, Rebellion, he's taking up so much, but his army is still quite small. Like, he's getting to Storm, Fleet Beacon, second Stargate, +1 air attack, Blink on the way. Taking up so much, when really he needs an army here and now. Because here comes Wayne, once again. Now, Rebellion's main army has potential, for sure. Drop gets spotted. Rebellion moving in. Does move in to intercept. Will take down one of the Dropper Lords. Ooh, nice snipe. At the same time, 2 lurkers into the main and 2 lurkers into the third. Yeah, Rebellion is being pulled apart. He has to split up his army. He can't respond with everything like this. For the Dropper Lords, they actually rotate towards that right-hand base. Dropper goes down. Army does unload. Where are the storms? Storm is ready. Oh, good. Yeah, Storm is ready. There we go, does land. Cannon gets depowered. And there's no detection. No detection here. Another Archon falls. Wayne is pulling Rebellion apart. Rebellion having a really hard time holding in multiple locations at once. And Wayne is overwhelming. Lurker cleaned up in the main base. Wayne pulls away. Again, Rebellion just has to bring everything together here. Alright, let's get multiple observers. Top left is helping him out, at least somewhat. Speaking of Wayne and Rebellion expanding on the same island, let's go. They expand on the same island. But in general, it does feel like the speed of Wayne here is really helping him out. So the multitasking, I should say. Rebellion has been having a very hard time defending the natural, the third, and the fourth. It's been very rare to see Rebellion actually keep some supplies split and keep his army spread. It just hasn't happened. Like even here, for example, he has 3 observers. 3 observers of the army. But thankfully, Wayne does send everything right down middle. Oh my god. Does send everything to the center. Does borrow in time. Oof. Storm does connect. Shaving off a couple of lurkers. Couple of workers go down. The base will fall. Storms are brutal. But Wayne bleeding out more bases. Did recall top left, thankfully. And Tempest are amassing. Tempest does reveal itself. But again, only the one Tempest. As Rebellion, he is still supply block, by the way. Still kind of break out. Wayne dropping towards the left. Let's go transferring all these drones. Let's go. Ooh, as all these Orcas are going to go down. They take down like 1 or 2 Stalkers. Nice cleanup by Rebellion. Wayne, he plummets in supply. That was a massive army. Uh-oh. That was most of his army even. Behind this, switching into Hive Tech. At least trying to. Once again, more lurker drops. Ooh, running into the main army though. Tiles run into the main army. Likewise, nothing much to kill here in the main. Oh, Wayne, he now knows. Is now aware. Ooh. There we go. Queens are building up. Now, Queens are a great supportive unit to have, but against this army, I don't know if they're ideal, I'll be honest. Like, Queens, they can ensnare, which I don't think helps against this hybrid, like, composition of ground and air toss. They can Parasite, of course, which can help against certain key units. But I would imagine the Defilers would pair better with Hydra Lurker. Regardless, moving in. Like, unless I'm missing something. Oh, oh no, there's no energy! No! High Tableau drops in. As Mothership coming in for a recall, let's go! They're going for the mass recall into the bases. Yeah, one fell swoop. Rebellion going for the kill. Takes out all the, oh my god, all the queens. The queens go down, the Hydras go down. And Wayne, again, he's not quite in position. There you go, just going for the kill shots. One recall, it's all it takes, Pappy, it's all it takes. Wayne trying to race back home. GG gets called, and Rebellion with the fancy end here. Going for the recall, does end it, does take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We assumed that Rebellion was going to be rushing to the mothership at the start of the game. didn't quite do that, went into charge instead, but we found ourselves with the mothership in the end. Again, that recall can be brutal, especially if the opposing player is relying on a ground army and they're split between multiple islands. Then that can just be game. That can be game then and there. Whew, it was a scary one though. It was very, very back and forth. Definitely moments for Rebellion, moments for Wayne. Both players had their moments, of course, and with that, Rebellion does take a lead in the series. We're now getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Vermeer. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Vermeer, we have the red Zerg player, with the red Zerg player himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. Representing the SC2 race this time, it is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss. Representing among SC2 people, it is Rebellion. As we do have our players scouting each other, Rebellion does scout top left, and Wayne is scouting bottom right. As a reminder, this is a 4-player small map, so we are looking for each other. We be searching. Okay, now when it comes to our game state here, we do have cross spawns. We are, I should say, diagonal spawns between Wayne and Rebellion. From here, we can take a cannon. Never mind, we're going for the cannon rush. But this does feel a little bit late when it comes to scouting. Rebellion, the forge is still on the way. Cannon rush, though, is commencing. Rebellion, can he pull this off so far? Wayne is in the dark, but again, this is a later scout, a later cannon rush from Rebellion. Still somewhat lined up, though. As Wayne, he sees nothing. He sees nothing. He knows nothing. Overlord out of position. I mean, the Overlord is scouting the bases, of course, which means nothing to scout back at home. He has no idea. The cannon's on the way. The gateway as well. And now he knows. Now he sees. Now he finds out. He's now aware. But the first cannon, it's already going to complete. It's already going to complete at this point. Likewise, low ground cannon as well is within range of the expansion. So the first cannon covers the ramp, the second cannon covers the base. And we have the Roach Warren from Wayne. Likewise, he does sneak out a drone. Does sneak out one worker. As it's going to be a kill on the hatchery. Hatch is going to go down. We have the Zealot morphing right into the main as well. Meanwhile, Wayne going into Roach production. So one base Roach out of Wayne. We'll see if they come out in time. So one base Roach. Backup pylons on the way. Rebellion committing to this. And the Zealot can apply some pressure, but the Roaches will clean this up. And Wayne should be okay. Again, because of the positioning of this pylon, like this cannon rush, I mean, he can save the base, unironically. He can save it. And that'll be huge. We'll bleed out one Roach so far. Yeah, only one Roach. The pylon is going to go down. It's going to be close, though. I'm referring to the second pylon here. Roach is a tank some shots, going for the gate, going for the cannon. Oh my god, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Oh no, it's gonna lose the Roach. But more Roaches are on the way. And it looks like he will barely save the expansion. Oh my god, Rebellion does retarget. But this cannon is gonna go down. And he saves the base. Again, thankfully, only one cannon was within range. Now, it was a costly defense. Did cost Wayne 5 Roaches. But he will save the expansion. That's what matters here. He saves the natural. Back at home, Rebellion switching it up into a... what's a disruptor drop? into a Reaver drop. They'll switch into Reavers. Reavers are going to be on the way. And there's potential, there's always potential here to just wreak havoc in a mineral line, to just roast up, to just detonate and take down all those drones. At the same time, Wayne, he breaks out. He's droning behind this, so he's not going for an all-in. He's applying pressure with his Roach Ravager, but he is droning. Likewise, he doesn't have to be too concerned with getting spores, or, I mean, he does get them. So to be getting ready for oracles is what I meant to say. Does the spores in the main, spores at the third. Ravagers move out. And they do spot the shuttle. He now knows. Wing speed is on the way. Barely moving in. Thank God shuttle speed is about to finish. It was so slow. There we go. There we go. Shuttle speed now complete. Threatens the bases. Wayne is ready. Spores on the way. Likewise, shot goes off on the roaches. He's headed for the mineral line. Doesn't quite get in. Does towards the main. Quick reaction there by Wayne. Pulls back. And only loses one drone. And with that, Wayne defends. Wayne, he defends. He shuts down the shuttle. And Rebellion is going to have to play at a longer game state here. For now, he's still stuck on 2 bases. Has a massive amount of gateways. And he may just try to go for a 2-base all-in. I say that Citadel is on the way. Interesting. So it looks like he does want to expand. Oh no, the move came in. The drone does slip away. Wayne going just Spire Tech, going into Mutas, which honestly can fare quite well in this kind of game state. There's no Stargate, there's no Corsair. If Rebellion scouted, he could shut this down, but for the time being, he's just focusing back at home on Dragoons, on Reavers, getting into charge, very ground heavy, Temple Archives, no Stargate. Yo, the double drop, let's go. And then he breaks out, he runs into the Mutas. And we have a wall of spine coolers already done. We have Rebellion, he has to back off, he throws down a wall of cannons. The timing he was going for, it does nothing. Does nothing, and Wayne's in a good position. He's in a good position here. Wayne from here, he can drone, he can expand. More spine crawlers on the way, which means he's going into mass muta. And if Rebellion doesn't respect this, if he doesn't go into his own anti-muta based army, then I mean that could just be game. He's taking it to Archons, taking it, still stuck on Dragoons. No Storm. Cannons, they do deflect. Up. So he does catch 3 Dragoons. 1 muta goes down. So better trade for Wayne. Meanwhile, Reaver jump into the mineral line. Oh my god. Gets one shot off, but only one shot. Oh, that is not worth it. That was 2 Reavers and a shuttle for 5 drones. Ay, ay, ay. Again, I'm sure it wasn't expecting this many spine crawlers. And for the Ravagers to be in position. That means they head into the bases. More probes going down. And Rebellion, he has no answer. He just straight up, he just has no answer to this. He can deflect, but he cannot deter. As mules, they just keep poking in, they just keep catching Rebellion out of position. Storm is getting towards that halfway mark. As soon as they catch another Reaver, they get into another mineral line. Oh god, they get another what? 6, 7, 8 probe kills. Another stack. No, 15, 17. Another mineral line goes down. Now they go into the main and they can do it again. They just keep going. They just keep going. They will get every single mineral line. Rebellion forced into an all-in, but remember, he's walking into a wall of spine crawlers. When he's ready for the all-in. He's been ready for quite some time. Without catching out the army. Rebellion moving in. And one way or another, either he kills Wayne or he dies trying. And Rebellion, he has, what, half the army supply? Oh, no. And it takes down the first spine. There are storms, true. And storms, they can pop up. First storm on a couple of meters. But GG gets called. There's nothing left. And Wayne, he ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. We'll see if we're able to go the way of Wayne or Rebellion, and who will go for what as we load into Sylphid for the ace match. GG, well played. As you mentioned, when it comes to the previous game, Rebellion was doing well for himself for the most part at the beginning, but as you mentioned, Wayne, his spy went unscouted, and Rebellion, even after seeing the mutants, he didn't respond to it. We did mention time and time again, referring to Stargate play, but never did go for it. Instead, he committed to a ground-based army, but we saw how difficult it was for the ground army to keep up with the mutants. GG. With that, we're getting into game number 3. We're getting into the ace match, and we'll see how this story ends. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the red Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, tying up the series and going for the 12 pool. Let's go. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself, representing among SC2 people. It is Rebellion. Here we go. So again, we have the initial 12 pool here. Wayne, he is going to be scouting the top side first. He will find and come across Rebellion. Now remember, last game did begin with a cannon rush. True, I mean, there was so many layers of what had happened, right? It was a failed cannon rush at a Rebellion, and Wayne had a stronger start. Likewise, the Disruptor drop, the Reaver drop didn't really pay for itself. True, that's another big part, right? The Reaver drop didn't pay for itself either. So it was just a really rough game for Rebellion from the beginning, right? Failed cannon rush, failed Reaver drop. A lot there was shaky for Rebellion. And he initially wanted to go for a 2-base all-in, and then the mutants revealed themselves, and he had to back off. He had to race back home after the mutants were revealed. Like, there's just a lot that came into play. Probe Scout does confirm the 12 pool. And Lings are coming. Now, as you can see here, Wayne, he is going for the 12 pool. He is making a massive amount of Lings, but he is expanding. He is taking gas. Wayne is taking up behind this. So he does plan on, of course, continuing on droning. This isn't a 12 pool drone pool, for example. He'll be joining behind this. Meanwhile, Rebellion needs scouts, and the entrance here is so narrow. He doesn't even need a third building. Gateway, Cybercore, Zell gets chroned in time. Rebellion, he's fine. It's perfectly fine. Now, ideally, Wayne, he wants to drag the Zealot out and to get us around, but we have a second Zealot on the way. This is going to be a Nexus before second Gateway. Interesting. As only one probe here to support. Shield batteries on the way. There we go. Second probe has arrived. I believe 2 probes should be enough. It's going to be close, though. 1 probe goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2, and Lingze can slip in. Likewise gets us around. Zealot goes down. Nice big offs here by Wayne. As 3 Lings do slip in, but only 3. Gets a probe. Oh, it gets 3 workers even. I mean, sure. 2 that were blocking and 1 in the main. 3 in total. Oh. Once again, forcing overreactions. It's back at Wayne. He's droning up and rushing into Hydras. So here we're droning, we're saturating. Hydra Den is now done. Once again, just really Hydra Tech here from Wayne. And Wayne, he has droned up somewhat here, up to 21. He's going to macro hatch. He's gotten up to, I mean, I would still say 1 base economy, basically. Yeah, 1 base economy here out of Wayne. And Wayne, he is not making any more drones, by the way. He's still making more Hydras. Setting up for that 1 base all in. He's gonna be committing. You can see he pulls out. Yeah, he pulls out of gas. So from here, he's gonna be reinforcing with purely Ling. This is an all in. Pure Ling reinforcements. Rebellion, he's got cannons on the way. I mean, he did scout earlier. He did see how few workers there were. Stalker just survived. Wayne gonna be committing. Still rallying in. Still pushing forward. Going for the gate itself. Gateway does fall. Nice start. Takes down the gateway. Now going for the cybercore. We have more Lings massing up behind this. Just getting ready for the wall to be broken. And then they commit. And the wall is about to go down. Yeah, it's go time. It's go time. Cybercore falls, comes in for the surround. Collapses on the stalkers. And the pylon fall. No, the Atosis pylon. No, the pylon goes down. And with that, Wayne, he's done it. He's done it. He breaks on through, going for the backup pylon, making sure that everything stays depowered. And it's only 1 stalker. Now down to 0. 0 stalkers left. The boys were pulled earlier. More boys being pulled. Rebellion getting desperate. And he knows there's no way to stop this. As every probe goes down, GG gets called. And Wayne, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played, Wayne. He will claim the series, he will advance on, he will make it to those semis. Again, an intense back and forth here. Rebellion, he had a decent defense against the initial 12 pool, but unfortunately, despite scouting, despite recognizing how few drones there were, he was not able to prepare himself for the Ling Hydra all-in. Back at home, there was some side defense, that is true, but the gateway count was very limited, so the army supply there was very limited for Rebellion as well. Barely had any units to work with. He had like 2 stalkers, maybe 3 stalkers at the beginning of that fight. Barely an army, barely anything. GG. GG, well played. With that, Wayne will advance on, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we're headed, where we are, the hell's going on. Let's go. Okay, from the top, 3-point took down Prome 2-0. Once again, I do apologize. once again to apologize that we did not have the replays for that match. But 3-point does take down Prime 2-0. YoungYakov takes down MinoVK 2-1, and 3-point versus YoungYakov is going to be in the upper semifinals. Meanwhile, Wayne takes down Rebellion 2-1, and Gerald takes down Kot 2-0. We do have 3-point versus YoungYakov and Wayne versus Gerald. Let's go. We have a Zurich player confirmed for the finals, and we will determine whether it's a Zurich or a Protoss from the lower semis as well. Again, we're missing some key players here. As I mentioned before, because GSL has begun and because the StarCraft 2 EWC circuit is in full swing, it does feel like a lot of the Korean regulars, a lot of the higher tier player regulars, so I'm referring to players like Skillus, Bjorn, Hero, and Shin, and of course Dark as well, but Dark he retired. But a lot of the top Spirit as well, if I didn't already say his name. But a lot of those top StarCraft Evolution players, I'm sure right now, are hyper focused and hyper fixated on StarCraft 2, right? On StarCraft 2, especially with the EWC circuit. So because of that, I would not be surprised if we see less participation from those players, but that does give more opportunities for some of these other players to actually get some wins and to strive a little bit higher and to achieve better results with the absence of some of those other, you know, top GSL players, for example, or EWC players. So here we go. With that, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we will have the semifinals ready for you. We'll be jumping into 3-point and YoungYakov. We'll see you soon. After the break. Pat. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the StarCraft Evolution League number 11, your bi-weekly dose of StarCraft Evolution StarCraft. Here we go. We are back. We're here with the semifinals. We are here with the semifinals. We've reached our top 4 players here of the tournament. Just catching up with the chats. Ironically, it might be more interesting as we go into the unknown. I wouldn't go that far as to say they're unknown. These are very well-known players. MinoVK, YoungYakov, Wayne, Rebellion. We do cover these players on a very regular basis. I would even go as far as to say that these are the best Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. I mentioned before that that's Dark retired, and Shin is focusing on StarCraft 2 at the moment. So without Dark, without Shin, threepoint, YoungYakov, and Wayne, you don't get better than that. These are the best Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. When it comes to Protoss as well, Gerald I would also place quite highly. I'm a little bit less certain as to where to place Gerald amongst some of the other players like Rebellion and Ateshi. Like Rebellion, Ateshi, Prome, they're all like around a similar skill level, and I think I'd place Geralt amongst them. I think I'd place Geralt like below Skillus, but amongst the other Protoss players as well. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I guess what I was trying to get at earlier is that all of these players we see plenty of, but now they have opportunities to have like these deeper runs, right? These deeper runs, these deeper performances. Now there's no Dark to dominate, there's no Beyond to dominate, there's no Shin to dominate, right? So now these guys, they have like better chances here to kind of wreak havoc, to go in, to step into the ring, to pop off. Here we go. We're gonna be getting into game one. Game one gonna be on Maganatha. Oh, let's go. Evolution, yeah, it's all good. I mean, these guys are they're all known in StarCraft 2 as well, to be fair. Especially when it comes to the online tournament scene, but here we go, we're stepping in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha. We have our South Korean Zerg player, the Purple Zerg. Oh, the Purple Zerg himself representing Team Hyper 1. It's gonna be a short one. It is 3 points. Going for the 12 pool, the cheesiest Zerg player in South Korea, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent going for the 13-12. Let's go. 12 pool versus 13-12. We have the red Zerg player. The S2 Zerg, it is YoungYakov. Let's go. We're gonna ape it up. We're aping it up. Yeah. Now a couple of things coming into this. First things first, for the first time in StarCraft Evolution League, we have a new format, best of 5. It was best of 3 semis, best of 5 grand finals, but now they have switched the semifinals to a best of 5 format instead. I believe a big reason for this, if you're familiar with StarCraft Evolution, you would know that games are really short. I mean, you would have seen that already here, but there are a lot of all-ins. There are a lot of all-ins in StarCraft Evolution. There are a lot of shorter games as a result. Longer macro games are more of a rarity. That is also why I appreciate the island maps, because the island maps force players into a longer game. And we get to experience, kind of like Sky Toss and later game compositions. But in general, all-ins are very, very much so prevalent in the meta of StarCraft Evolution. So increasing the semifinals to best of 5s for more games, I'm all for it. I do think it's a good thing, just to give us more StarCraft Evolution. Otherwise, we have had some shorter matches, some shorter series, and some shorter broadcasts as a result. For now, though, again, 12 pool. So 12 pool here, 3 point, he's Ling rushing across the map. 13-12, what does this mean? This means Ling speed alongside not just Ling speed, but Banelings as well. And here we go, Lings, they do rush past each other. On the one hand, 3 point has more Lings, and 3 point he can take the initial bit of fight, but YoungYakov will have speed Lings sooner and faster. Remember, this is gasless from 3 point. It is a gasless build, so no Ling speed whatsoever. YoungYakov for now. I mean, 3 point is now aware. He's now aware of the earlier pool, but he doesn't know about the earlier gas. For what he knows, it could be a 12 pool now. He sees no expansion. It's an all-in. So YoungYakov, he's going for the all-in. Link speed is almost complete. Banelings can now be morphed in, and YoungYakov, he just commits across the map. Back at him, he defends with his drones. That's around! Yeah, he gets up close around YoungYakov. He shuts down the Zerglings. And here comes the Bane Bust. Actually, we just ignore that. Without Banelings, we just go in. Yeah, Spine Crawl is being targeted down. I should say the Sunken Coney even. And if the Coney is finished, then he can defend. It doesn't take long at all. Coney, the first one is going to be denied. There's one Coney left. Can he target it down? It's going to be close. Can he get it? No, he cannot. He cannot. It will finish. Does finish in time. Lings they save into the main. Another Coney's on the way. And 3-point, can he hold on? Remember, 3-point is on 12 drones. YoungYakov, he's on 11. YoungYakov is all in. He has no base. He has no base. He has no expansion. The Coney's almost done. I think 3-point has done it. I think 3-point, I think he has held. Like, what's the answer to the Coney's? 3-point, he can drone. He can drone freely. YoungYakov is going for a fast lair. Oh, God. He's going for the fast lair instead. And with this fast layer, we can go into Spire, I guess, into Mutas. That is an option here for YoungYakov. But here we go. Layer is on the way. Behind this YoungYakov, he is going to be able to defend at least. But all the 3-point has to do is just drone. He just has to drone up and get into Hydra Tech, and he should be fine. We have one base Spire. I'm assuming it's Spire Tech, but we'll see. Technically, this could be a fast Swarm Host. Infestation bit into Swarm Host, but there it is, yeah, Spire. Spire's more sane. So, I say more sane. One base Muta. Remember, there's no expansion, by the way. And the problem that I have, 3-point, not paying attention, massive connection here. The biggest issue that I have is that 3-point, he's on hashtag. He can just throw down a Hydroden. Going into Ling Hydra is standard, but no Hydroden yet. Ooh. That is a concern. Likewise, 3-point, he did not scout the main. He's not aware of the lair timing. He should be going into Hydras. Right now, he's getting ready for a Bane bust. Uh-oh. Getting ready for a bust. Throwing down more spine crawlers, more sunken Conies. Which means these Mutas can end the game. Straight up. Like, what shoots up? Nothing. There's nothing here. As I mentioned, there should be a Hydrogen by now, but 3-point, he doesn't know. He didn't scout. Okay. Okay, so YoungYakov, he can still pull this off. He can still bring this over to a win. The Spire's about to finish. Oh, we have 3-point going into a lair before Hydroden. He's going for his own Mutas. No, is this over? Is this just game? How many Mutas can we make? 4. Oh, that's not a lot. So 4 Mutas. Safety spores. Safety spores on the way. Never mind. What do we have here? We have, yep, 2 spores at the natural. 2 spores in the main. 3-point just fully walling up. And now he's fine. Now he's perfectly fine. He scouted the lair. Yeah, he saw the lair. He went in with the Overlord. Now he knows about the Mutas. And even without Hydras, yeah, he's perfectly, he's safe. He can go into a Spire, and from Spire Tech, he can go into his own Muta Scourge. That's what's important. Like, Scourge completely changed the Muta versus Muta dynamic. By change, I mean they just shut down StarCraft 2 Mutas. Just because SC2 Muta doesn't have the equivalent of Scourge to like force micro out of his opponent. So Muta versus Muta is just heavily in favor of, I would say, Brutal Zerg. As the Spire is on the way. Remember, we have more gas mining for longer here from 3-point. YoungYakov just now getting into his own natural. And does he switch into a ground army? Or what's the plan from here? Oh, good. Mutas, they go for the dive. And they will bleed out. They do deny mining of the gas. Not bad. That's what's important. Gas mining is denied. There was an opening. That's the problem with relying on purely stacked defense. They cannot move. They cannot reposition. So this is actually quite impactful. 2 gases being denied. Oh. As the gas geyser does not go down. Yakov being forced away. Still making more mutas. Meanwhile, we have 11 mutas here from 3-point. Bearing in mind as well that the Brood Muta does have 1 extra range. That's another factor in favor of the Brood War Muta kind of dynamic. And here he comes. So 12 mutas versus 7. Oh god. As they pop out, hunt down the overlords. And YoungYakov cannot quite engage. Oh! Yeah, and he can't fight this head on. Not like this. Free damage here with the extra range as well. Yakov getting ready. Yeah, and it's GG. he can't do anything. GG gets called. 3-point takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, a crazy start to the game. Does 12 pool versus 13-12. As we saw, once the Spine Coolers, once the Sun Colonies finished, that was game. That was game then there. In a sense, it ended the rush. It ended the rush. It ended the aggression. We saw that YoungYakov tried to go into 1-base Muta play, but alas, 3-point, he was fully prepared for it. He did Overlord Scout. He did see the lair, so he was more than ready back at home. GG. There was some nice moves out of YoungYakov when he got behind the Gas Geyser and when he was able to deny some mining. That was a very nice move, but needed more than just that. Did need more than that. And with that, GG well played. We're now getting to game number 2. So this is Wayne versus Gerald. Oh. Hold on. I will try to fix that. There we go. It should now be fixed out of game. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Troy, we have the purple Zerg. Oh, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. I mean, again, he is the cheesiest Zerg player in all of South Korea. Representing Team Hyper 1, it is 3-point. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg down in the series. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. We are building up. YoungYakov, he is once again going gas pool. Jesus, the aggression does not end. So 12 pool out of 3-point, gas pool out of YoungYakov. Now, this is not a 13-12 like we saw previously. This is going to be a later start, or this is going to be later aggression, but aggression nonetheless. And I do favor YoungYakov initially here when it comes to the openers, just because he can shut down his opponent, and we can progress into a longer game. Likewise, because of the faster droning here compared to last game, YoungYakov, he will have the better economy. Naturals on the way for both players. Do see 3-point drone scouting. Bearing in mind this is a 4-player small map, we have 3-point scouting bottom left and drone scouting directly across the map. And he will find YoungYakov. Does find him. He's aware of the hatchery timing. He knows it is a later hatchery, so that he knows that there is a faster spawning pool. And immediately gas. Immediately does take the gas guys. So this time a much stronger, much faster response here by 3-point. Last game, his gases was so delayed because it was just 12 pooling, but here he's responding, he's reacting. As 3-point does move out. Does move out. Threatens the expansion. But again, YoungYakov should not lose the space. Like, he shouldn't lose it. He has Lings amassing. He should be able to pull the boys. Queen is on the way. The base is getting low, though. And YoungYakov, he doesn't pull the boys. Uh-oh. He doesn't pull the boys. Lings are going down. The Queen gets surrounded. Ah, no, YoungYakov. Again, late reaction here out of the red Zerg. And now he does pull the boys, but this is too much. And if the base goes down, that's game. Like, he can't afford to lose it. He cannot lose the expansion. More Lings trickle in. And the base is gonna fall. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, God. A rough start here for YoungYakov. Remember, this game, YoungYakov, he went for an earlier hatchery compared to last time. He is still going into faster link speed, that is true. But YoungYakov, this was not meant to be an all-in. YoungYakov has been droning. Now he's being forced into an all-in. Bailey Nest gets thrown down. Link speed kicks in. YoungYakov, he moves out. Meanwhile, 3-point, all he needs is a wall. He needs just some sack defense here to survive. Easier said than done, by the way, as we don't have any drones. But a bit of engage here from 3-point. YoungYakov, he does try to bypass the army. Three-point does turn back around. Link speed is on the way. No sunken colonies yet. As here come those banelings. So YoungYakov, he should have had the better economy, the better drone count, but now instead we're even workers, and here we go, we have a wall of spine crawlers. Wall of spine crawlers. Wall of sunken colonies. Banelings are on the way for YoungYakov. And from here, 3-point, all he has to do is drone. He just has to drone up. And defend. Oh no! It was once. Oh, Jesus, not the first time this has happened. He does take every baneling to the face. Takes every baneling to the face. Ay, ay, ay. But 3-point is still fine. Like, he can still just drone. I believe there's an opening here, if I'm not mistaken. So he has to be careful. Yeah, there's the opening. Lings, they flood in. The wall is not a wall. Lings, they get into the mineral line. GG gets called. All he needed was a wall, Pappy. That's all he needed. And with that, YoungYakov ties up the series 1-1. GG. Hero? Hero, you're meant to be playing in GSL. What are you doing? What are you... Get out of here. GG, well played. The wall's not a wall. Lings, they flood in, and that does end the game. With that, we have a tied 1-1 series. We're going to game 3. Let's go. Let us go. We're going into game 3, and again this time, yep, we do have our correct scores. That's all correct names outside of game. We're going to be loading into Pylon. Here we go. It's a Clown Fiesta, man. Clown Fiesta. As spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Pylon, we have the purple Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg, now the SE2 Zerg, by the way, representing Team Hyper 1. The cheesiest Zerg player in all of South Korea. It is a 3-point. Ooh, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for a 13-12. We have the Brood War Zerg himself, the red Zerg. It is YoungYakov. So YoungYakov is going for a 13-12. This is for insanely fast Ling speed. And of course for a Ling flood. Meanwhile, 3-point for now is droning. Droning up somewhat. This is going to be a 14-14. I believe that was a 14 gas geyser. So he's going for an earlier gas. Not as quickly, not as fast as YoungYakov. This is going to be later gas and a later spawning pool. But this is all before the expansion. This is still pretty safe. This is pretty safe play here. Going gas pool into an expansion. This is actually quite similar to the opener and the build that YoungYakov went for last game. YoungYakov still lost the expansion, which should not have happened. Here, 3-point should be looking to save it. As you can see here, Ling speed is on the way. He pulls out of gas, and Lings are amassing. Ooh, Yakov is expanding with this. Okay, Yakov, he does decide to expand alongside the 13-12. That will eat into his overall Ling count. But I guess there's no queen, so it makes sense. Just because you have less larva. And you have excess minerals. Okay, okay. It's all piecing together here. The build in Brood War, I mean. So 13-12 with the expansion. And Yakov does move out. Meanwhile, 3-point going for his own. I mean, he stays in gas. Important to note, he stays in gas. Link speed is on the way. Bailey Nest is on the way as well. And 3-point again, this build is designed to punish YoungYakov. As Yakov, he hasn't droned. He hasn't really droned here. He's got 13 drones. Making more lings. Going for the base. Oh! Tries to collapse in the army. 3-point does pull away in time. Nice reaction. Does save the queen. The base is getting there. The Baneling has arrived. Oh no! Oh my god. Baneling waddles in. Does waddle. Decent connection. And 3-point holds. And again, unlike YoungYakov, 3-point, he does. Oh no! There's a bit of miscontrol there, but he does save the expansion. That's what's important. Yakov, he attempts to move in. Is denied. Yakov, he's just now making his first drone, his first 2. Making a handful of workers. Link speed now kicks in for 3 points, which means now he can counterattack. And now the roles are reversed. We need side defense back at home, and we need to wall up when necessary as well. Don't leave it open. Don't pull a hero. As for now, oh god. Army still do dance. 3 when he commits across the map, he does leave some Banelings back home to defend. YoungYakov, he attempts to punish, he attempts to go in. The Banelings are ready. Let's go for the expansion. Ooh, some wasted connections there, less than ideal. The base is getting low and the base is going to go down. At the same time, 3 when he gets across the map, gets off the spine crawlers. Banelings, they will look to connect. Ooh, they crash in. But those spine crawlers, they are tanky. Jesus, that was 3 Banelings. And they do nothing. They tickle the spine. They tickle the colonies. Oh god. Blings, they bust into the main. Boys are being pulled. Banelings are denied. The sunken colonies, they're thick boys, man. Oh my god. And Yakov holds. Yakov does hold. Yakov does defend. He's going to be cleaned up. And as it all settles, 3 points still has the better economy. He has a higher drone count, but he did lose the expansion. Again, that should not have happened, but the base did go down. So this is still anyone's game. May could have done something else if he hadn't walked his lings right into the Banelings. As we mentioned, he could have still walled off. Even without those lings, like, he could have still defended. Last game, 3 points defense wasn't necessarily predicated on him losing all those things. Just because he had, what, like 3 spines on the way? Just needed more time. Needed more time. For now, though, we are threatening a dive. YoungYakov, he has been droning up. Now he's fully this is a wall. Does fully wall off here at the natural to make sure that a Bane bust does not break him. And now YoungYakov, he can freely drone. He's freely droning, taking gases from here and going to Hydra Tech. Going for the lair instead. This is a little bit greedier. This means that now he's 1 step further away from Hydras or from any kind of units. With a fast lair, it feels like Muta play, but Mutas take a lot more longer to really come online. And 3 point is not droning. 3 point is still making nothing but links. So 3 point, his goal here is to bust this location. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, again, he is a ways away from Mutas, so it's going to be a tough hold. That's a lot of 14 Banelings. Now this is a bust. 14 Banelings on the way. We need a second wall. We need a second wall behind this. Eva Chamber does go down, and he's done it. He breaks on through, surrounds the spine crawlers, surrounds the colonies, I should say. There was no second wall. There are still more colonies here at the natural. No economic damage yet. Colony's still on the way in the main. Boys are being pulled. It's going to be a rough trade here. Drones are going down, but so far, nice drone drilling. Does pull away, does buy time. More Banelings morphing in. The colony, he needs it. 7 drone kills. Oh my god. Lings, they pop out. Can he get on top of the banelings? He can. He denies one, denies two, he denies all three. He defends. Whew. He defends. He barely holds on here. That was a very clutch hold. YoungYakov, he survives. Oh no! Has to pull away. The bust continues. Now look at the drone count. Thankfully, throwing down the wall once again. Trying to set up. Oh, but the sunken colonies are too far behind. We don't even need banelings to bring this down. As that's a cancel. Does cancel in time. Banelings are waddling in. Spinecrawler gets surrounded. Oh my god. Very nice target firing out of YoungYakov. Oh my god, Bailey doesn't connect. But this is still a very clutch. Oh, this is still a very close fight. So very close, very clutch. Lings, they do break out. Wall is on the way. And these banelings, they will finish, but some of them are being denied, and we're just buying time for more colonies. More colonies. Nice control there by YoungYakov. He pulls away in time. The hatchery's now under fire. Catching reinforcements. Hatchery goes down. The Spire is finally on the way. Again, this would have been an easier hold, I should say, if we had gone for something like Hydras instead, but the mutas are coming. Banelings, they zone away. They zone away the army. Boys are pulled back. Banelings, oh no! Oh my god, they almost crash in. Almost. Has to pull away, has to get the hell out of here. Oh no! One baneling connects, second baneling as well, but no more banelings. And YoungYakov, he does survive, but his drone count is so incredibly low. Back across the map, 3 point, he has nothing. Just Ling Bane. Just Ling Bane. No lair, no gases, no nothing. The mutas are coming. The mutas are on the way. Oh my god, Jesus. Yeah, calm down. Calm down, calm down. Has to pull away. Does re-wall once again. The Spire, it takes so long. Get the Spire out here. Get it out here. Even then, it's not going to be easy. Lings are out of position. One baneling is hearted. There's one baneling left. Oh no! Oh my god. Does pull away. Baneling should be targeted. Should be targeted. It's not. There we go. Whew. Towards the end. Does get targeted. Spire gets surrounded, but the mutas are coming. Mutas are finally coming. 3 point just has to buy time for the mutas, and they're here. They're almost here, I should say. There we go. They have arrived. And finally, he can force this back. He can focus on those banelings. He can force back 3 points. Hunt down overlords, gain map control. 3 point behind this is heavily droning up, and he has 4 queens, so he should be able to defend his natural at least. These mutas do move out. We can see 3 point is still being active. 3 point is looking for the third. If YoungYakov tries to expand, then 3 point is going to be there to stop it. Ooh, mutas, they dive on the queens. Not the best move. Means they can hold their own. 3 point still enjoying a better economy. From here, going into Hydras. Mutas are on a timer. They are on a timer here, as they haven't done any economic damage. Everyone's being found out. So far, with YoungYakov is still just redroning, resaturating. Still a very low drone count for YoungYakov. And 3 point might just be too far ahead here. Like, the problem is that typically, how do you counter Ling Hydra and ZVZ? Usually with banelings, right? Usually with Ling Bane. But YoungYakov doesn't have banelings. It's not accessible to him. So he doesn't really have a good answer to the Hydras that are on the way. It's gonna be Ling Hydra versus Ling Muta, essentially. Now, in a standard ZVZ, if we had like a proper economy, then the answer to Hydra Lurker Viper from the SE2 side would be Guardian, would be Muta into Guardians. But we're so far away from that just because the economy is so low, right? Like, this is just a really low eco game state. The Mutas, they get a Queen. They get a Sport. Oof. It will slip away. Infestation is on the way here for 3 points. That should be for Hive. Oh, never mind. Does cancel. I was gonna say it should be for Hive Tech for Vipers. Oh god, the Mutas, they fight this head on. They should not. That was how many? That was 5 Mutas going down. 5 Mutas for 4 Hydras. Ay, ay, ay. Not a good trade. We can see YoungYakov is switching into his own Hydras instead. Oh, that's gonna be a rough transition. I mean, it'll be better than being stuck on Mutas, I suppose. I mean, he can't do anything else is a problem, right? Like, he doesn't have the economy to sustain Hive Tech and to sustain something like Guardians. So it has to be Hydra. He's taking into Lurkers as well. Lurkers would be a way to slow the game down if he can get there, but 3 point should not give him time. Yeah, he's moving. He's moving out. 3 point is already pushing, and again, he should be. The economy for YoungYakov, it was just so low early on. He lost so many drones in the defense. Nice around here on the Hydras. Okay, can he force 3 point back home? We're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Mutas, they take out all the Queens. At the same time, 3 point knocking down that wall. We have Spikles, we have Sun Colonies on the way, but he needs more time. The Colonies, they're not ready. Hydras, they break on through. They take down the first line of defense. At the same time, Mutas have control of the natural. It's just all about the base trade here. Lurker Tech is finishing. Can we morph in some Lunkers? If we can morph in a handful of Lurkers, we can defend one of these bases. Meanwhile, the natural has gone down for 3 point. 3 point throws down a wall of Spore Crawlers in the main, and these Mutas are too late. Yeah, they're too late to salt the Spores. They could have. The Lunkers, they morph in. He gets one Lurker. Let's go. The main base is secure. And we do have... Oh, we're trying to race back home. Mutas, they race back, but there's so many Hydras. And there's only 1 Lurker. Sorry, 2. 2 Lurkers. Hydras, they so step in. Mutas, they cannot fight head on. And he's going to be forced to. Yeah, 3 points. It's going to be a close fight, actually. 3 point is running out of Hydras. It's so close. Down to 4 Mutas. 4 Mutas remaining. Very close fight. The Mutas, they haven't regenerated. No, the Mutas, they can't go in. Lings, they do help support. They clean up all the Hydras. And where exactly are we? Okay. Yeah, GG. 0 drones. 0 drones for YoungYakov. He had no economy, and 3 point, he was on 1 base economy. He was on 1 base. He had an economy back at home. He had saturation. GG. GG, well played. With that 3 point, he will take game number 3, taking a lead in the series. GG. And again, unfortunately, YoungYakov was just so greedy when it came to his transition out of the initial all-in. If you remember, his transition was going into a layer, going to 2-base Muta, which hit so late compared to going into Hydra Tech. So he was vulnerable. There was such a big window where he could be killed. And he wasn't. He survived, but he sustained so much damage. I was trying to emphasize how many workers he had lost, but when Mutas popped out, I think he had less than 20 drones. And I want to say that 3 point had like 32. Like 3 point, he had like almost double the drone count. Like it was crazy just how much of a stronger economy 3 point had after the Mutas defended. So 3 point, he just had a massive economic lead. So whether he would go into his own Spire or into Hydras, of course, did have the advantage. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 4, and we'll see how this story ends. Do we go to the ace match, or does 3-point claim the series? Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. Three-point stars economy. Yes, as we pointed out, there were zero drones for YoungYakov, and here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Vermeer. We have the purple Zerg player. We have the purple Zerg player himself, leading the series 2-1, representing Team Hyper 1. It is a 3-point, making drones. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for the 12 pool, we have the blue Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. So this entire series has been very low economy, very low eco here. We've been seeing nothing but 12 pools, 13 12s, more 12 pools, 14 15s, 14 16s. Here, likewise, gas first out of 3 points, so it's going to be gas pool into a hatchery. This is a relatively safe build. This does allow 3-point to get into earlier link speed and earlier banelings. This is similar to what we just saw last game, very similar. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, he's committing to 12 pool. He is going to be committing. Now, bearing in mind, 12 pools are not all in, but there are all in versions. What I'm referring to, a 12 pool drone pool. Technically, we can go for a 12 pool drone pool into like a, I would say, a spine rush in StarCraft 2, but Sunken Colony Rush doesn't really make a lot of sense here in Brood War. Hello. Let's go. Yeah, okay. 12 pool drone pool. Okay, we go. Yeah, let's go. The 12 pool drone pool is upon us, and it looks like we are going for the Sunken Colony Rush. Now, I just brought up the spine rush and how that doesn't really coincide too well with Brood War, but we're going for it regardless. Meanwhile, Spine Crawler's on the way for 3-point. Spine Crawlers are on the way. There's no expansion. 3-point, he's very well set up for this. He's almost looking at hard counter. Here we go with the Sunken Colony Rush. Now, the problem with the Sunken Colony Rush is that unlike with Spine Crawlers, you can't reposition. That's in my mind, it's a little bit worse. But we'll see if we can pull it off. They are much faster, to be fair. Boys are being pulled. Decent drone drilling here at a 3 points, but he's losing a lot of drones. Yeah, there we go. The Spine Crawler does complete. 3-point, he will defend. The Queen arrives as well, but what about the colonies, though? Yeah, colonies are also done. Here we go. Colony versus Spine. Who comes out on top? Oh my god, a lot of drones are going down. The Queen is being targeted. And I think YoungYakov has done it. I think he's done it here. Again, these Spine Crawlers, they took so long to reposition. Every drone is going down. 2 workers escape here. Ooh. And with that, 3-point does have an economy. He's mining with 2. YoungYakov mining with 0. But he's going back home. He's going back home with his drones. Oh no! Speaking of drones, no, he's down to 1. Down to 1 worker. Down to 0. 0 drones. He has nothing. He has no workers. That's game. That's game then and there. YoungYakov, he's going to be able to make it back home. He has an economy. The Spine Crawler, they're waddling across. True, they're waddling across. They're waddling across the map. That's the other advantage here of Spine Crawlers, is that they are mobile, but it takes so long to waddle across. 3-point, he's got 4 drones. Sorry, he's got 4 lings, and he's going for the 4 workers. He's going for the drones, going for the mineral line. Now, if 3-point can kill these drones, he can end the game. And likewise, he can also just buy time for his Spine Crawlers. He can buy time. They're coming. Oh, that's a lot of lings, sir. That's a lot of lings. That's going to be 6 lings for YoungYakov. Yeah, GG gets called. And YoungYakov, he ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. We're going to the ace match here. And again, 3-point, he'd almost defended beautifully there, but he did lose his drones towards the end. He had preserved them, he had saved them, but did lose them towards the end, so he had no economy. It was a bold dive there from YoungYakov, but he was able to barely get those 2 workers to make sure that there was no economy. And GG, well played. Likewise, we also saw that the Spine Crawlers, they were not quite in position, so the time that it took them to uproot and to burrow again, those were crucial seconds here that did favor YoungYakov. did favor him. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going into the ace match. Let's find out how this ends. Actually, the same thing. Let's go. Did the Sun Colonies even do anything? They did. They killed the queen. They targeted down the queen. But here we go. And we're now getting into our next game. We're getting into the ace match and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Holy World, we have the purple Zerg player making drones, by the way. The purple Zerg, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for the 12 pool, we have the SE2 Zerg player, the red Zerg. It is YoungYakov. 3-point is going 12 pool, opposite player. YoungYakov is 12 pooling, 3-point is going for a gas first. So 3-point is going gas first. With this, it looks like gas first into a spawning pool. Looks like a safer opener here out of 3-point. YoungYakov, he might 12 pool, drone pool, spine rush again. Of course, last game it was a sunken colony rush. This time it could be a spine rush. So we'll see if he commits. We'll see if he does pull the boys. Now the Overlord does scout top right, so YoungYakov, he will find a 3-point instantly. The Overlords, I believe they actually do pass by each other. Here we go. Oh, okay, so 3-point, he is expanding. He will soon confirm, and yep, there we go. We have the Ling Flood, we have the 12 pool spine rush out of YoungYakov. Let's go. And 3-point, he no, if he went all the way in, he would see the lack of drones. 3-point, he barely misses. Oh no, he barely does miss. He's barely not. He does see the links. Okay, he does see the links. He knows it's at least a 12 pool, but he doesn't see the drones. He doesn't see the boys. There we go. There we go. Does start his own sunken colony. Remember, the colonies, they finish off faster. Spine crawlers on the way. Getting the one spine, collapsing on the colony. Can he deny the colony? I don't think he can. Yeah, he won't be able to. Colonies, they just finish so fast. And we hold. 3-point, he shuts it. Yes, this he completely shuts this down. Completely cleans this up. The colony will complete. 3-point, he defends. GG gets called, and a 3-point with some immaculate drone drilling there. He shuts down YoungYakov, and 3-point will win the series 3-2. GG. Whew, oh my god. Yeah, that drone drilling was crazy at a 3-point. He got a full surround real fast and real quick. And again, the sunken colony finishes up so quickly defensively. I mean, in general. So if you're defending as a brutal Zerg player, your colony will finish faster than the spine. So again, does have that advantage. GG. GG well plays, does finish, does shut him down. And a 3-point, he will advance on to the grand finals. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into our next semis, into our next set of matches here, and we'll see if we can also see another ace match. Can we also make it all the way to game 5? Let's go. As up next, we have a ZVP between Wayne and Gerald. Game 1 is going to be on Vermeer. Here we go. It was also fortunate, I should also emphasize this as well, it was also very fortunate that, remember, 3-point went for a late expansion. He went for an earlier gas and earlier pool. Earlier pool means earlier lings, it means earlier spine cooler, or I should say sunken colony in 3-point's case. So everything was earlier than normal because he had gone for an earlier pool. And with that, GG. So solid defense there by 3-point, and that leads us here into our next series. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Vermeer, we have the yellow Zerg player, the yellow Zerg player himself, droning, by the way. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player with the Polish Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. We go. As we are opening up, and welcome one and all to Vermeer. This is a 4-player spawn map. They're not aware of each other's locations. Not yet. Overlord is going in for the scout, so is the probe, and they will find each other. They will find each other. As Gerald pokes in. is going to be Hatch Gas Pool here from Wayne. And Gerald does confirm. Behind this goes for a 2-gate opener. This has been quite trendy amongst a lot of the Protoss players. I'm thinking specifically of Classic. Classic is going for a lot of 2-gate openers. This should be for a double Zealot early on into a 3rd and 4th. I think Classic goes up to 6 Zealots, but he does rally early on across the map, and you can actually get quite a bit of value with these early Zealots, especially with close spawns. Behind this, going for a delayed Cybercore. So let's poke in. Of course, Wayne is now aware of the location of Gerald's. They do now split each other. They're now aware. And here we go. Here come the Zealots. Now, Wayne, he will spot this with his Overlord. He is aware of the Zealots moving in. Knowing, though, is one thing. Can he stop? Can he save his workers? Can he minimize losses? As we have the next set of Zealots on the way. As we mentioned, I believe Classic usually goes up to 6. We'll see if we go into more. As Zealots say, deny mining. They force back the Queen. Okay, just some careful micro here out of Gerald, as he does join forces with extra Zealots. Now poking forward. Nice target firing there by Wayne. Does hard down one of the Zealots. As we have a 5th Zealot on the way and a 6th and 7th Zealot on the way as well. So getting up to 7. And again, this is forcing out Zerglings, forcing out a Spine Crawler. This is forcing out not drones from Wayne. As Wayne is going into 2-base lair? Wait, what? What is happening? 2-base lairs on the way. Link speed still in production. That's a lot of Zerglings here for Wayne. And with that fast lair, I'm feeling Muta play. But there are a lot of possibilities. I mean, it could be into fast Hydras, into like a Ling Hydra all-in. Could be for Nidus play, into Ling Queen Nidus. The gas count is still quite low. Only 2 gases, but there it is, Spire. So 2-base Muta out of Wayne. Meanwhile, Ling's there. Oh, the wall's open. The wall's not a wall. I believe we attempted to wall off there. And Lings, they get in, getting 1 probe kill so far. Nothing major, thankfully. Just the 1. Does cause a bit of chaos. There we go, gets a 2nd probe. But not quite a 3rd. As we build up to 8 Zealots. 2 of them get surrounded. Not just 2, most of them actually. Catching at 2, getting up to 3. 3, 4, 5 Zealots go down. And Gerald, he never did scout the main. That's what's scary here. He has no idea. He has no idea what's going on. He's unaware of the lair. He's unaware. Going for the expansion. Forcing a cancel, not bad. Gerald does force a cancel. Mutas are in production. 6 Mutas here from Wayne. He's throwing down a wall. Gee, he's going mass Muta. He's going mass Muta. Muta's able to bat just in time. And it's only 3 Dragoons. I say 3, going down to 2. They're going down to 1. 1 Dragoon left. Likewise means they turn back around. They go for the Zealots. Queens, they hold their own. And with that, Wayne, he does hold, he does defend. Trying to catch out more Dragoons. Not the cleanest trade, but he will get another. Trading out a muta. Trading out another muta as well. 2 for 2. And with that, Gerald, he's holding. He's holding on. Wayne, he slips into the expansions. Gets into the main. Gets into the main base. Takes down 5 probes. I'd say 5 getting him to 7. 7, 8 workers. I mean, Dragoons are so slow. So clunky here at responding to mutas. And we have +1 air attack. We have no other tech. Still mass muta. It's still just mass muta here at Wayne. And we've been here before. If you remember in the earlier Rebellion series, where Wayne went mass muta and Rebellion, he refused to throw any Stargates. He refused to tech up. Now here the Dragoon count is higher. I will say that. If you recall, Rebellion was going for a more charge-heavy composition. Charge and Archons. So it's a different dynamic. And hey, the Dragoons are holding their own. Not bad. They're bullying back Wayne. They do send him away. And again, the purpose of all this is to break the expansion, to break the third. Another muta goes down. Lings, they do slip into the bases. But Gerald, he's still pushing. He's still going for the kill, going for the expansion. He wants that third. Oh no! Muta goes down. Likewise, Wayne catching out Wayne. Wayne catching out some of those reinforcements. And the base will fall. Likewise, Wayne also denying the third base of Gerald, or at least trying to. He is going for the third. Oh, it does catch out one of those Dragoons. 2 of them even. But Wayne is forced back. And again, the low base count here is killing him. He can't really sustain this kind of army, not on just 2 bases. And not if Gerald gets another base up and running. Once again, there are another 4 probe kills. Units, they rotate. Dive back in. Gerald, he is paying attention. He is forcing this back. Dragoon range is helping. Well, what's important here is that Gerald, he was a little more aggressive and assertive with these Dragoons. As we mentioned before, when it came to his push, he was forcing the mutas to engage into the Dragoons if he wanted to save the base, and he failed to save the expansion. So some really good positional play here from Gerald. Mutas, they do hit the third once again, going for the pylons. Lings, they will support quite well, but the shield battery is now done. Oh, gets C-powered. And because Gerald already killed the third base once, he doesn't have to break out. He doesn't have to push. He already has the better economy. He has more efficient mining. Now he can just calmly turtle up and get into Storm. There's nothing pressuring Gerald to move out yet. Once Storm is done, then he can commit. And he may even just go for an all-in with that. Meanwhile, more side defense on the way. Cannons, shield batteries. They're not done yet though. 1 cannon is going to go down. So nice pick up here by Wayne. Breaks through the cannon, breaks through the mineral line. Gerald, he was overly reliant on these cannons. They weren't done in time. And he gets punished. He gets punished for it. So nice pick up here from Wayne. Again, looking for these openings. Catching out the High Templar. Oh, gets 1. 1 High Templar goes down. Nice snipe. There are how many left? 5. Gee, that's a lot of High Templar. And once again, you can see how assertive Gerald is being. Zoning back the army. Storms are coming in, and from here, Gerald, he can just keep pushing. He can just keep pushing towards the bases of Wayne. As Gerald moves out, Wayne moving in. Lings are getting ready. High Templar, no! High Templar! No, they get caught out, they overextend. And that's 5 High Templar going down. Oof, that should not have happened. I mean, Storm was meant to support this army so we can push out. Without Storm, Gerald, he's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. Not like this. As now there are no storms. He has to rebuild the High Templar. Once again, Wayne getting ready here for the Ling run by. Collapsing in the army. Yeah, just going for the fight at this point. Now there's no storm to deter. Lings are coming to support, and Dragoons are falling one after the other. Brutal losses here for Gerald. Almost getting another. Gerald still holding his own. Behind this, how many High Templar? 2. 2 High Templar, 2 storms. He has to make them count. There are plenty of spine coolers at the natural, less so here at the 3rd. Only 2, they're going down. Gerald wedging himself in between the bases. Once again, kind of forcing the Muse to push into him. And he's got those 2 storms. Up! Speaking of, first one, no major connections. Yeah, the High Templar, they go down. Laser collapse on the army. And Gerald, he will get completely cleaned up, losing every single High Templar, every single Dragoon. Whew. And again, it was only 2 High Templar, only 2 storms. Wayne, he's done it. At this point, he has done it. He has broken the main army. Now it's time to camp the production. Going for the shield battery. Going for the pylon. Doesn't quite collapse on the... Oh, there we go. Takes down the High Templar. Collapses on the Dragoons. And with that, GG gets called. Wayne, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. The game-winning move for Wayne, catching out 5 High Templar, and each of them had at least 1 storm as well. He got every single High Templar, and from there, Gerald, he lost all the momentum. He lost so much momentum in that one moment. Imagine that move out, that push that we saw towards the end with what would have been 5, 7 High Templar instead with so many storms. That could have been game. That could have been game then and there if Gerald was able to pull that off, but again, he did bleed out his High Templar in the process, did lose everything, and in the end, it gets surrounded. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into game number 2. That leads us into Maganatha. Let's go. The largest map in the map pool. And we'll see how our players will adjust their approach. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the yellow Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the green Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss, representing Streamer Zone from the land of Poland. It is Gerald. Hello. What's going on? As Wayne does move out with an early drone. And I'm not used to seeing hatch blocks in this matchup, specifically Brutal versus SE2, but I believe should be setting up for a hatchery block across the map to delay the expansion. So that should be the goal. Yep, there we go. Hatchery's on the way. And this is a way to disrupt the opener of the opponent. This is a way to delay the economy and to force a response. Remember, this is not an all-in, this is a delay. This is the equivalent of what Gerald is doing. Gerald, he's also pylon blocking the natural. So we get a pylon block out of Gerald, we get a hatch block out of Wayne. Wayne forced to go for a gas, go for a pull, all before expanding. Boys are being pulled. From here, the bases are under fire. From here, again, we do force out a 2-gate opener out of Gerald. This means Zealots are going to be forced out, and this should be an Adept follow-up. Or Adept follow-up. So the aftermath of this proxy hatchery, or this hatch block, is going to be a tough defense from Wayne. We'll see if we can pull it off. Oh, doesn't quite get the kill. Drone slips in. Ideally, Wayne wants to go for a gas steal if he sees an opportunity. If he sees an opening. Oh no! As he is going to get surrounded. The drone is killed. The hatch, or the gas steal, is denied. And now here come the adepts. Now, Wayne did go for a gas before hatchery. And he's double expanding to catch up. So he's forced to double expand, but he did go for an earlier gas, guys. So link speed is already on the way, and he's staying in gas. He stays in gas. This should be for, oh, I was going to say either a fast lair or a hydrogen. We have the answer. It's going to be hydras. So early hydra production out of Gerald. Meanwhile, the initial Zealot Adept does move out across the map. Back at home, Gerald, he's fully walled up. He is ready. As they'll say to attempt this around. Oh. Last Lings, they do surround one, both Zealots. Nice defense so far here by Wayne. Gerald with a hidden probe. We'll see if we make use of that. As Wayne, he's not droning, by the way. He has two bases, but no drones. He's making Lings, making Hydras. He's going for the all-in. No saturation. He could be right now. There's no reason to make these Hydras, but he's just rushing into the Hydras. Checking the vision here of Gerald. He did not scout the tech. He did not see the hydrogen. He does not know what's going on. He also has not seen the lack of drones. So Gerald, he's in the dark. Right now he's playing standard, going into Glaive Adepts. That's not going to help. What does he need? He needs cannons, shield batteries. He needs static defense. Ideally a robo for immortal production, or just extra gateways for extra warp ins. But here we go, Hydras are revealed, and the wall is open. It's just completely open. Oh god. It's completely open. The boys are being pulled. A last second defense here from Gerald. Does surround the Hydra. Not bad. Surrounds the Hydras, but alas, there's just still so much behind this. Hydras, they do slip away. They slip away, they start to step back. Mineral lines are going down. Going for the pylon, going for the Artosis pylon. Oh, denies the warp in. Depowers both gateways, and there is 0 gateways in the main. There is 0 production. 3 adepts, what you see is what you get. And we go from there. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Wayne takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. A cheeky all-in there by Wayne, and unfortunately Gerald, he did not rescout, he did not check what was at the mineral lines, whether or not there were any workers. He did not recheck the main base. He had no idea of the faster hydrogen. Gerald, he was playing blind, playing in the dark, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Oh. Wayne takes a 2-0 lead, and now we're getting into game number 3. Stepping into game 3. Going to be loading into Sylphid, a 3-player spawn map. And spawning in the top side. The top side here of Sylphid, we have the yellow Zerg player. The yellow Zerg player himself. Oh. The Brood War Zerg. Sorry, the SC2 Zerg is what I meant to say. Leading the series 2-0, it is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Interesting. Interesting to see that Gerald, he did opt to switch into Brood War, not SE2. Remember, it is loser's pick. Gerald, he scouts bottom left, and Wayne also prioritized scouting bottom left as well. Both players, they scout the wrong location. Inadvertently, they do confirm the position of their opponent, of course. Ooh, 2-gate opener. Same opener here. We saw this in game 1. We saw this in game 1. It's going to be a 2-gate opener. Oh, never mind. This is not what we saw in game 1 at all. I mean, 2-gate opener into early Zealot production, that is true. But we have a Forge alongside this. That is interesting. Are we planning to cannon rush? Are we planning to set up an outpost here outside of the natural. What's the plan? Now this is Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Wayne. Gerald, do we attempt to... Yeah, let's go. He's going for the cannon rush. He's going for it. Pylons are being thrown down. Wayne, he will confirm with the Overlord. A couple of boys are being pulled. Oh no, he gets stuck. No, he gets stuck with the egg. Does move in. And he doesn't quite get on top of the probe. Pylon does complete. We're on patrol. Shows those cannons. There it is. First cannon's on the way. Oh! Does get a second. And a third. No, sorry. Two. So 2 cannons, 2 pylons. Zelsa moving out across the map. The boys are being pulled. And they do get on top of the first cannon. They will focus it down. And now they can go for the final cannon. There's only 1 cannon left. This is not working out well here for Gerald. They're exposed. They're not going to finish. Yeah, the cannons, they will not complete. Spine crawlers on the way. And Wayne, he completely shuts this down. Kills the probe. Denies the cannons. GG gets called. I don't know how experienced Gerald is with cannon rushing. Alas, doesn't quite work out. GG, and Wayne, he will claim the series 3-0. GG. Interesting build is what I will say. Interesting build. Unfortunately, as we did mention, the cannon wasn't protected. The first cannon was not protected. We saw that there was a cannon to wall that area off, but there was extra surface area on the cannon, so it was very easy for Wayne to focus down the second cannon, create an opening, and then get on top of the first cannon. And the cannons just would not finish. They would not finish. There was plenty of surface area. It's also unfortunate as well that this cannon rush was done with 1 probe, so once the probe went, also there was kind of less workers there to throw down more cannons or to try to wall up and wall off and try to disrupt the setup. It was a bit of a shaky execution, and with that, GG well played. With that, Wayne does advance on to the grand finals, and we have our finals getting ready for us here. It's going to be a best of 5 between Wayne and 3Point. Let's go. As we do need a moment to set things up. To set up our players and set up our teams. Let's go. As a reminder here, we have our brackets fully confirmed when it comes to our players advancing on. 3Point took down Prome 2-0, took down YoungYakov 3-2, and now is in the finals against Wayne. Wayne took down Rebellion, took down Gerald as well. Now, if you recall, we had a very crazy, very intense, very dynamic ZVZ between 3Point and YoungYakov. Very short, a lot of 12 pools, a lot of 13-12s, a lot of early gas, a lot of early pool, a lot of hyper aggression between 3Point and YoungYakov. I expect something similar between 3Point and Wayne. I'll be honest. Like we never really got to see the mid game of 3Point and YoungYakov. We never really got there. We never got a stable economic setup early on into a back and forth mid game. Never happened. I'll be surprised to see it here. But I'm looking forward to the vetoes. I don't know what the vetoes were. I don't know what the map order is, or what maps are chosen. I don't think I've seen a ZVZ on an island map. Are they willing? Are they willing to play on Neo Isles of Siren? I hope so. I hope they're willing to. But you're gonna be deterred to do it though, because the problem is that Brutal Zerg is just so good when it comes to Muta versus Muta. Like Muta Scourge versus Muta, it's just brutal. So that might just, yeah, so it's probably just gonna be a veto. We'll see. As game 1 is gonna be on Vermeer. One of those things where I want to see a ZVZ on an island map, but at the same time I also understand why island maps are vetoed in ZVZ, so it's like, never mind. It would be fun to see once though, just that I've never seen it. I have seen PvP and TVT on the Eyes of Siren. I've seen Phoenix versus Corsair. I should say I've seen Phoenix Void Ray die to Mass Corsair. Horribly, by the way, horribly. But here we go. We're getting into the grand finals, and spawning in the right hand corner of Vermeer, we have our red Zerg player. We have a red Zerg player himself. It is Wayne, the StarCraft 2 Zerg. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Zerg player from South Korea representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3Point. Here we go. And I'll be honest, I don't know who to favor here. In general, 3-point Wayne and YoungYakov, I have a really hard time distinguishing their current level, partly because I haven't seen enough of I haven't seen enough of Wayne and YoungYakov. For those that are curious, players like Wayne, YoungYakov, Gerald, they're newer players to the scene. And what I mean by that is that StarCraft Evolution has been around for over a year at this point, but the 3 players that I just mentioned, they only started competing in StarCraft Evolution this year, and even then, like a couple of months into the year as well. So they're relatively they're like a newer wave of pro players that have been trying out StarCraft Evolution. 3-point has been around for a lot longer. He's been around for a lot longer. He's been a lot more of a stable kind of player in the hierarchy of StarCraft Evolution pros. So we have a lot more data, a lot more matches on 3-point, less so on Wayne, on YoungYakov, on Gerald, right? There's just less matches of them in StarCraft Evolution. But here we go. Do have our initial openers here, and for the most part, we're expanding. Let's go. Are looking to expand. Now, this is still going to be an earlier pool here from Wayne, so earlier pool timing, earlier gas timing as well. So Wayne will have the advantage of earlier link speed and potentially earlier banelings. Meanwhile, 3-point went for an economic opener. He went hatch, gas, pool into a macro hatchery. 3-point, as a result, will have a higher drone count. Even going for another macro hatchery. Jesus, getting up to 4 hatcheries here on 2 bases. And I mentioned earlier that I did expect this series to be chaotic and aggressive like the last one. That's not what we're getting here. That's not what we're getting. Wayne has found his opponents. 3-point has likewise found Wayne as well. They have found each other. Lane pokes in, gets 1 drone. Jeez. It's 1 worker so far. Fast lair out of 3 points, very fast lair. So with the fast lair and with the SimCity and with the hatcheries, it does look like 2-base muta. This does feel like 2-base muta here. Yep, all gases are being taken. 2-base muta out of 3 points. Meanwhile, Wayne, he has an idea of what's going on. He saw the lair. He saw the lair, he saw the gas. Again, fast lair screams 2-base muta. So Wayne, how does he respond? I don't think Wayne can respond with his own mutas. I don't think that's viable. He's going for a roach warren. I was going to say you could either try to rush into your own hydras and try to cut 3-point off and get into your own hydra tech and turtle up and play a longer game, or with a fast roach warren, you can try to kill 3-point early on with a roach all in. So we're going for the problem with going for a roach all in is that already 3-point is setting up. He's setting up defensively with those colonies. Plus on melees on the way, that confirms it is going to be muta play. And Wayne, what is the plan here? We have 14 lings, 16 lings in production. I mean, hey, we have plenty of larva with those 2 macro hatcheries. Getting into 1-1 upgrades, and there is the spire. So again, it is 2-base muta as we mentioned, but we do see that 3-point, he's committing quite hard to a lot of lings early on to give himself some time, some breathing room to force Wayne to be defensive first. And Wayne, he's going for hydras. Okay, so Wayne, he's going for his own, he's not going for a roach all in, he's going for his own defensive hydra setup, which means 3-point will gain map control and will be able to expand and get a 3rd. Point moving out. These things, they will threaten the bases. They do threaten. Nice hold position micro here out of Wayne. Yeah, very nice micro, very nice control. He does save the queen a little bit longer. Roach's arm moving out. But the queen is still going to get surrounded, and the queen will still fall. Meanwhile, Wayne, he only has 2 drones, only 2 workers. As things, they do surround the roaches. They get 1, they get 2 roaches. In the end, Wayne, he will defend, he will survive. Hydras are amassing, we have Hydra range on the way. Meanwhile, 3-point, he's still massing up lings. He's still massing lings. Still building up. 3-point. Oh, he does attempt to run back. He does break through. Yeah, the wall is too late. Lings, they bust on in. Remember, these are going to be 1-1 Lings. They surround the roaches. They slip into the main. They're going for the mineral lines. And damage is being done. A lot of roaches are going down. A lot of roaches, a couple of drones as well, getting up to 4, getting up to 5 drone kills. Getting up to 6, 7. 7 A workers going down. And now here come the mutas. Again, it's going to be a 1-2 punch. Lings, they do well for themselves already. Getting another drone. Here we go. This 3-point, he does break out. Does break out. Cool to hunt down the overlords. Again, just containing Wayne. Wayne, he's already bled out so many drones here, so his Hydra count is actually quite low. It's lower than it should be. Hydra goes down. Nice pickup. 3-point gets a Hydra. 3-win has a better economy. Gets another 2 Hydra. Yeah, he gets another 2 Hydras. And Wayne just cannot build up. Just so many losses early on. Wayne, he's not going into Hive, he's going Hydra Infester. So he's going for more of a band-aid solution here. Where fungals can be good, of course. But they're also limited by the ground, right? By ground terrain, I should say. With how they can maneuver. Likewise, they're also vulnerable to Lings. Oh, as 3-point does research Dropalords. Without Overlord speed. I don't think that's intentional, but okay. Vengeful Sax is done. They can run by towards the 3rd. Does got the investors, is aware, takes down 2 Hydras. Oh no, and he does catch the infestor. Ay. Brutal pickoff. Fungals coming in and does graze the army, catching up 3 mutas, killing 1. Oh, that was not worth the second fungal though. Yeah, only 1 muta goes down. Doesn't get a second. Swain, he is struggling. As you mentioned, the infestors are quite limited in how they can engage mutas, and we just go for this around. Oof. Yeah, brutal catch. Hydras are falling one after the other. The infestors, they do nothing, and Wayne will lose everything. He'll lose every single Hydra. The Ling muta does overwhelm. Just a really rough start for Wayne with the initial Ling run by and the Ling flood. He lost far too much, and he has been broken. He has been broken. A fungal connects with GG, gets called. 3-point takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, really nice Ling aggression out of 3-point. He was able to get across the map. He was able to kill drones, able to catch roaches, catch hydras, catch queens. It was a really nice setup for the eventual muta play. Instead of your typical 2-base muta where you just rush into mutas, remember, we went into a 4 hatchery setup, into double upgrades, double Eva chambers, into delayed mutas. The mutas, they still end of the game, but the Lings did a great job of just setting up for success for the mutas. GG. GG, well played with that. 3-point takes the lead. It's happening. I wasn't sure if it would. Up next, we are loading into Near Isles of Siren. We're loading into the island map in the ZVZ. Let's go. Let's go. Now, be afraid of what you wish for, because if you remember, I talked myself out of it earlier, where I was like, I want to see it, but at the same time, I understand why not. Oh boy. Oh. But we have an interesting dynamic. Okay, here we go. From the bottom, I should say, in bottom left-hand corner of Near Isles of Siren, we have the red Zerg player. We have the SC2 Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player, the purple Zerg from Atlanta, South Korea, representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. more like MVM? I don't think so. So if you remember our thought process that we were thinking earlier when it came to ZVZ on Neo Isles of Siren, is that SC2 Muta play is a lot worse. It's a lot worse. So you often don't see Muta versus Muta in StarCraft Evolution. The reason for this is because it is not Muta versus Muta, it's Muta versus Muta Scourge. Scourge adds a lot more different dynamic. It adds a different dynamic. It allows the Brood War Zerg player to bully the mutas of the SC2 Zerg, because those Scourge, if they connect, they end the game. They end the game. So because of that, we often avoid Muta versus Muta, and instead we see a Hydra Lurker play instead. But because we're getting into an island map, we'll see. Like, there are options for Wayne. We've spoken about this before when it comes to island maps, when it comes to SC2 Zerg. SC2 Zerg players, they have options for Nidus play, they have options for Drop Lord play, they can go into Spire into Muta, or they can still commit and they can make a ground army work here. They can, like, Hydra Lurker Viper can work on an island map, depending on how you, of course, incorporate it. We'll see. I feel like 3-point, it's more of a given. He is going for a hatchery opener before gas, before pool. So a very greedy build here by 3-point. Wayne, hatch, gas, pool. Standard opener out of Wayne, greedy build out of 3-point. But with this standard opener, Wayne has gas early on, which means he can go for a faster lair. So we'll see. So I'm most curious to see if Wayne goes for a Spire or not. I feel like it's a given that 3-point is going to go for the Spire. Meanwhile, there it is, fast lair. And again, this is a big timing advantage that Wayne has. Remember, Wayne went for an earlier gas. That means earlier lair and earlier second gas. 3-point, he's only just now taking his gases. So 3-point, he will have more mineral income early on. He will have more bases early on, but he's behind when it comes to gas saturation and when it comes to his tech as well. So already we have like a big kind of shift here between our two players. So really fast tech from Wayne, better economy for 3-point. Now, I don't know how much experience Wayne has with ZVZ and StarCraft Evolution. Based on the gases, based on the lair, this does look like 2-base Muta. It looks like we're rushing into... Oh. Hello. Roach Warren. Nidus all in? There's no reason for the Roach Warren. This could be a Nidus all in. The lair is now done. Yep, there it is, Nidus all in. As we mentioned, Muta versus Muta should be a rare sight, so Nidus play makes sense. So Wayne, he's going for a 2-base all in. He's going for a 2-base all in. It's all coming together here when it comes to the early lair, early gases. It's going to be Roach Nidus. Meanwhile, 3-point is playing this out standard. What do we see? Lair, link speed. Never mind, going into Hydras. Okay, bearing in mind, 3-point, he hasn't seen anything across the map. He has no idea what's going on. Now, I do like this. So a couple of things are happening here. One, as I mentioned, Muta play from SC2 Zerg is rare. It's a rare sight to see. So we don't see Mutas at a 3-point. If he's expecting Nidus play, though, the Hydrogen makes plenty of sense. Yeah, Lings are moving out, and Nidus storm into the mineral line. Voids are being pulled, and the Nidus looks like it will finish. Yeah, it will finish up, but how many roaches pop out? The Queens have arrived. They clutch transfuse, but oh no! The Nidus goes down. The Nidus is denied. And Lings, they will shut this down. They will clean up everything here. The Queens, the Roaches. Back up Nidus towards the main. Back up Nidus on the way. Hydrogen is complete. And we do have some colonies here in the main as well. Yeah, Nidus worm is spotted. Colonies are on the way. Roaches are popping out, and the sunken colonies that will finish up in time. Very clutch timing here from 3-point. Very nicely done. Comes in for the surround. It completely shuts down the Roaches, and 3-point he holds. GG gets called, he shuts down the all-in, and 3-point he will take a further lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Again, because Muta play is not expected out of SC2 Zerg, because something like Aspire makes more, something like Nidus play makes more sense, for 3-point to open up Hydrogen, I mean, in my mind, like in the meta of ZVZ, like it does all line up, I should say. We didn't even get to see any Hydras, to be fair. Like, he was forced to make Lings, of course. He did get eyes on the Nidus worm, and with that, the reactive Lings were good enough. Remember, he even had late Ling speed. Like, these were slow Lings for the most part of the defense, but does shut Wayne down. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 3. 3-point is 1 game away from claiming the series. Let's go. here we go. The return of the Crown Prince of Evo Zerg. True, true. For those that remember, threepoint, he was the best player in StarCraft Evolution for a time, for a brief period of time, I will say. Up until StarCraft Evolution League, if you remember, that's when like Dark stepped in, that's when Shin stepped in, that's when the other big Korean names stepped in, and they kind of pushed all the other regulars out. But now, in the absence of those players, we have a Korean Zerg rising up. And we'll get there. As spawning in the left-hand corner of Troy, we have the red Zerg player, himself, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Zerg player representing Team Hyper 1. Leading the series 2-0, one game away from claiming the series and becoming our champion. It is a 3-point. But yes, 3-point. He had his era as the best. It's true. There was a time where that was the case. Before StarCraft Evolution became more mainstream. But now we're stepping into Troy, one of my favorite maps. I love Troy. Troy, it's a 4-player spawn map, but there are a lot of interesting quirks here. It's like a pseudo island map where you can like destroy these simulators, you can create permanent walls, you can close off some of these bases, you can take this other triangular third base, which is also an island, by the way. This map is going to be kind of awkward in ZVZ, just because it's not as easy to claim some of these bases, but we'll see. We'll see how our players will approach this. For now, we do see 3-points going for a gasless opener. Wayne does go hatch gas pool into his macro hatch. This is very greedy out of 3-point. Jesus. Okay, so relatively standard opener out of Wayne. Again, 3-point is playing gasless as the SC2 Zerg. Now, typically when you play gasless, it's going to be for roach play. Or I guess we can go into Muta. It should be roaches. We'll see. Now, the reason why I say roaches, when you play like this, your link speed is so late. Your link speed is so delayed, so you're going to be stuck on 2 bases. You're going to be stuck on 2 bases. You can see your spine crawlers on the way. Gases will eventually be taken. And because your gas is so late, you typically do not waste time getting link speed. Instead, you go straight for the lair. So this should be 2-base lair out of 3-point, and this can lead into a 2-base roach all-in, or it can lead into 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, Wayne also rushing lair, skipping link speed. So of their own accord, both players are skipping link speed, both players are rushing into their lairs. Wayne is 1 step ahead when it comes to his gas income, so Wayne will once again have the faster lair. 3-point will have the better mineral income into delayed gases into delayed lair. And there we go, Wayne going 2-base Muta. 2-base Muta out of Wayne. 3 points. If it was going to be 2-base Roach all-in, we would have seen a Roach Horn. Roach Horn would already be here, so I'm concerned for a 3-point, to be honest. I'm a little bit concerned to see how he plays this out. He might be forced into 2-base Hydra. If he attempts 2-base Muta, it'll be an interesting dynamic. I don't really favor 3-point with 2-base Muta, but we'll see. As 3-point, he is in between the bases. He does see the gases. And he pokes in and he will confirm the lair. So upon confirming the Muta play, in my mind, 3-point would go into Hydras. In my mind. Otherwise, he could try to go into like Corruptor, I suppose. Evo Chambers on the way. Yep, does confirm the Spire. We'll see how 3-point responds. I guess the added benefit for 3-point is that Wayne hasn't scouted, so he doesn't really know what 3-point is up to. But yeah, there it is. We do have double upgrades on the way. This should be Hydras. So plus on range, plus on carapace. Spores are being thrown down. 3-point is fully saturated on 2 bases. The lore. But yes, I can confirm the lore. That is true. That Dark, he won StarCraft the full championship for SEL. They just stepped away. And yes, before like the rise of Classic and Shin, it was 3Point that was dominating everything. Is this true? This is true. The tale has been woven. Let's go. That was also when my favorite player was popping off. I'm still a big fan. Still a big fan of Quanta. I haven't seen Quanta in a long time, unfortunately. I say long. It's been like a month or something. But I miss my Quanta. Miss him. Got a lot of love for Quanta. There we go. Wayne does poke in, and we can see that again. 3Point just turtling. He's just turtling up, going into two base Hydra. That's a lot of spores. Jesus, that's a lot of spores. You could argue this is maybe too many spores, as it does eat into the economy here of 3Point. Wayne rotating over. I miss Jaedong. I mean, technically he's still active, just in Brood War. Technically, Jaedong's still out there, still competing. That's 3Point. He's just building up into 2-base Viper. So with like, I mean, true. We have the economy change. Okay, this is more viable. Sorry. Okay. So a couple of things are happening. I wasn't too in love with the idea of 3Point turtling and going Hydra Lurker Viper on 2 bases. But my brain is very much so Legacy of the Void kind of focused. What I mean by that, there was a change made to the game over a month ago, an economy change, where they actually increased the amount of minerals on the mineral patches in each base, in the main, at the natural, at all the bases. They did increase the amount of resources that are there to make it more viable to stay on a lower base count for longer. So because of that, 3Point can still hold his own on 2 bases. It's still not amazing. I mean, Wayne is mass expanding. He's getting a 3rd base, getting a 4th base. Wayne has full map control, and Wayne is taking full advantage of that. But this is more viable for 3Point, more so than previously. Meanwhile, you can see that Wayne, he only made 11. Only 11 mutas. Behind this, Wayne is switching into his own Lurker tech. Now, I'm not too in love with the idea. When it comes to Lurker versus Lurker, or Hydra Lurker Viper versus Lurker Viper, sorry, Hydra Lurker of Wayne, I do favor 3Point. I mentioned before that late game ZVZ from the side of Brood War Zerg players should be Muta into Guardian, not Muta into Hydra Lurker. So I'm not in love with this switch from Wayne. I'm not in love with it, but we'll see how it works. I do favor 3Point coming into this composition wise. If you want to see the kind of game state that I'm referring to when it comes to Guardian versus Hydra Lurker Viper, or I should say it was Guardian Queen against Hydra Lurker Viper, is Dark versus Shin. Dark versus Shin in StarCraft Evolution, the full championship. True. The full championship. They had their ZVZ, I believe it was in the playoffs, in the quarterfinals. And it was intense. It was crazy. I think that's one of the, I harken back to that. That's one of the last times we've actually seen like proper late game like ZVZ in StarCraft Evolution. One of the only times. Just because usually the games are like what we've seen already so far in this tournament, just really fast games like 12 pools, 13 12s. Wayne now going for a second Spire. It looks like he has recognized maybe the capacity to go into something like Guardians. For now though, he's got Mass Hydra. I mean, Wayne does have the larger army, that is true, but we got a lot of Lunkers. We have, again, no Hydras, pure Lunker here. Lunker, Queen, Spore. Spores are pushing forward, and the Vipers are here for their Blinding Clouds. Now, Blinding Clouds are going to be crucial Threepoint doesn't really know what's happening. It looks like Threepoint is getting ready for Muta. Like, he has a really strong, like, anti-Muta force with some lurker support. But we have 3 more Vipers on the way. And again, Blinding Clouds are going to be so important for this fight. Threepoint is the most wins in this format so far. Therefore, Threepoint is the SE Evo Banjo. I don't think that's the criteria that has to be met. I don't think I'd go that far. Muse, they bust into the main. They're going to be trading. They get 1 Viper so far. They get 1. They get, oh, almost 2. As every meter goes down, but that's fine. Wayne, he needs no more. We're done with Muta play. It's just mass Hydra out of Wayne. And I'm a little bit concerned by the low energy here of the Vipers. There we go. We need more energy. We need more Blinding Clouds. Meanwhile, Threepoint finally expands. Is getting a 3rd base. And after seeing all those mutas thrown away, he should be fully aware that it's Hydra Tech. As Wayne takes every base on the map. Now, because of the economy, because of the bank that Wayne has, it does mean that Threepoint winning 1 fight is not good enough. Because it's going to be, oh, you lose 1. 1 Viper goes down, brutal pickoff. And 1 Viper does forward with the Blinding Clouds. I don't think that's going to be enough. We get some decent Blinding Clouds. They're decent, but he needs more than that. As once again the Hydras are moving in. And the mass Hydra is overwhelming. Oh my god, the lurkers, they trade well from the night. Clutch transfuse. It's Threepoint trading very efficiently here. You can see the trades. That was 57 Hydras for 3 lurkers. 57. 57. 57 Hydras just went down, papi. Ay, ay, ay. For 3 lurkers and 3 queens and 2 Vipers. One of the Vipers went down to the mutas, if you recall. So 1 Viper, 3 lurkers, and 3 queens. So you can see how efficient this army is. But the problem is that Threepoint, the strength of this army is Wayne pushing in, right? Like he wants Wayne to push in. Like Threepoint cannot really push into Wayne, not yet. So Threepoint, he is doing it like his best Showtime impression. He's like he's the wall, he's the Mao. It's like, come at me, and Wayne is going at him. Oh good, Wayne, calm down. Like Wayne, you cannot break through this. You cannot brute force your way through. Now, how do you break through this? I mean, I would assume. I almost said Investor. Devours. No, not Devours. What's the other one? If you're forced onto Hydra Lurker, Defilers. That's it. I was thinking of Defilers. I would assume Defilers with Dark Swarm alongside Plague. Like I would assume that that's what you have to rely upon. But as I mentioned 10 minutes ago at the start of the ZVZ, when it comes to proper late game against Hydra Lurker Viper, what is better than your own Hydra Lurker tech would have been Guardians, would have been Guardian Queen. Right, like if you remember, we were harping on Guardian Queen at the start of the game, talking about how like that's how you would typically approach this. But I don't know how much experience Wayne has with late game ZVZ and StarCraft Evolution. So if Wayne has never played with Guardian before, then his brain might just be hard coded into going into like Hydra Lurker himself, which is how you would respond in StarCraft 2, but it's not how you would respond here. Like the Hydra Lurker composition is just weaker than that of Threepoint. Like Lurker's just weaker, and there we go. Now we have the Greater Spire, but this is late. Like this was needed like 5 minutes ago to get into Guardian tech, and like at least Wayne has gotten there. At least he's aware that that's what he needs, but it's just so delayed. Now Wayne does have a massive bank, right? He has 6k gas in the bank. It does look like Wayne is getting ready for a mass Muta switch and getting ready for a mass Guardian. But there's going to be a window in time before that's ready, because he doesn't have mutas ready for this. Like he doesn't have that supply yet. Now the plus side here for Wayne is that Threepoint is not pushing. Like Threepoint is still very much so on 3 bases. He's now getting a 4th base. Threepoint is still waiting for his opponent to come to him. So Threepoint is giving Wayne a lot of time. And there it is, 27 mutas. Now we're getting into the Guardian tech. Let's go. Now, when it comes to the counter of the Viper, in my mind, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Queens can help with that. It's going to be a dynamic, typically. So if we do get into a maxed out army, into maxed out Guardian Queen versus Hydrolurker Viper, I believe a lot of that will come down to the spellcasters, whether the Vipers can abduct the Guardians into spores, or whether the Queens can zone away the Vipers with their parasites. Like, in my mind, it's similar in StarCraft 2, where it's a Viper versus Viper. Like, when you max out Hydrolurker Viper in late games EVZ and SE2, it turns into like 15 Vipers versus 15 Vipers. And it comes down to like big like abduction battles. And here we go, we have the Guardians on the way. Now, again, just to reiterate, Guardians are good, but Guardians, they need spellcaster support. Otherwise, you can just abduct, right? Otherwise, you can just go in, yoink all the Guardians, and kill them. So we do need that kind of support. The Hydras, they help a little bit, right? It looks like right now, for a bit of like a band-aid solution, Hydras are here to zone away the Vipers, so they can help somewhat, but it's still not ideal. Like, ideally, you do want, you know, your Queens. Spawn Broodling too, that's what I mentioned, but sorry, I think I said Parasite. I think Parasite is the vision one, so what I meant by saying Parasite is the Spawn Broodlings, where you target down the Vipers. Yes. So sorry if I misspoke. Meanwhile, yep, here come the abductions. One Guardian goes down, two Guardians go down, Parabomb as well, Jesus. And again, right now, there's just no answer. There's no answer. The Vipers, they have free reign. Oh, good. Yeah, mass Parabombs as well. The Guardians, they stack. They're all going to go down. And every Guardian falls. As you mentioned, Guardians, they can't do anything on their own, Pappy. Now we have some Devourers moving in, which will help. But those are some brutal losses here for Wayne. Brutal losses. And threepoint is just chilling. Just big chilling. Now on 4 bases, now he's got a sold economy. Again, the base count in the bank for Wayne doesn't matter if he can't construct an army that can actually fight head on. And right now he's still kind of stumbling his way into this army composition. And again, I believe partly it is because of the lack of experience in this kind of game state. Like, what, you think YoungYakov is going to bring Wayne to this kind of game state? Nah. Hey, YoungYakov, he's going to 12 pull every game. What do you mean? True, this is all YoungYakov's fault. If only he played more late game against Wayne. True, true. Spend the bank. The bank is, I mean, the bank is gonna help, but threepoint has a massive advantage here. He has a big lead when it comes to his army, because he's already at his final form. He's already at like Lurker, Viper, Corruptor. He's got a couple of Infestors on the way. Like, threepoint, he already has what he needs. He's good. And Wayne is still getting there. Wayne is still getting there. He's morphing in a mixture of Devourers and Guardians. For those that don't know, Devourers, they don't shoot down, they only shoot up. And I believe they do increase damage over time, if I'm not mistaken. So they can actually do like quite a lot of anti-air damage, just over time more than anything. Scourge, true. Sorry, I am so like queen brained right now. But that is another solution that I wasn't thinking of. Scourge, yeah, Scourge would be another good answer, unironically. The counter to Scourge, as we just Nidus into the main and we're just killing bases, and Wayne is dying right now. But the counter to Scourge would be Fungals, right? It would be to try to lock down the Scourge and zone away and pull away. But then it comes down to the player control, right? It comes down to, do the Fungals connect? Do the Scourge avoid the Fungals? Do they split? Do they spread? But yes, that would be another solution. One that we don't have, right? As Lurkers, they bust into the main base, they take down a couple of bases. From here, they should evacuate. Likewise, lurkers on the right hand side as well. More bases going down. The hive falls, and from here, Wayne, he gets out. Sorry, 3-point. 3-point, he does escape, does get out. Oh, drones get caught. Lurkers are on the high ground. And again, it's one of those things where yes, Wayne has a bank, but 3-point has just been more efficient. He's just been trading more efficiently. Even here, oh no, even here he does take down every single Hydra. Oh god, look at the it's a meat grinder, Papi. Every Hydra goes down trying to push into lurkers. Not like this. The Devourers, they're exposed. We should be seeing power bombs. Oh, the power bomb and fungal combo. Oh my god. Yeah, that is brutal here. And I believe they get one Viper. Does try to split, does try to spread, but every Devourer is going to go down. Oh, god, good. Yeah, brutal losses. We still have more parasitic bombs, by the way. And down goes every single Devourer. I'm afraid to look at the trades here. That was how many? That was 16. That was 16 Devourers for 6 Vipers. Sorry, 17 Devourers. 17 Devourers go down, and now there's no anti-air. Remember, the Hydras went down earlier. The Corruptors, they have free reign. They have free reign. We have more parasitic bombs. Now Wayne is going for the Remax, true. Wayne is remaxing with Muta. And with this Remax, can Wayne end the game? Here we go, the Muta's coming in. Yeah, the Remax here. That's what Wayne is relying upon. 3-point, he got too comfortable, he has to back off. 3-point does have a bank as well, but 3-point, I mean, where are the injects? No injects. No injects. Oh god. Mutas, they fight into spore range. This is not the best trade. They do barely get the Vipers, true. Vipers do go down. Again, not the best trade here from Wayne, but he is trying to break through. He's down to 2 Guardians. Down to 1. 1 Guardian left. No spores remaining. We have Hydras on the way. Trying to come out with a couple of Hydras, but the Mass Muta. The Muta Remax, it's barely enough. Wayne, he's done it. Wayne, he has done it. He has barely broken the back of 3 points. Some really rough fights is what I will say. But the Mutas, they break through. Whew. They break on through. Again, he barely did target down those Vipers as well. The Mass Muta. Now, Wayne is out of a bank. He literally spent his entire bank going into Mass Muta, so this is the final Remax of Wayne, but I believe he should have enough. I believe 3-point should not be able to recover from here. There are a lot of spores, though. 3-point is fighting with the spores. He's trading as best he can, but yeah, there's nothing he can do. Not without Vipers. Like, Vipers would shut this down, but GG gets called. We're getting into game 4. Let's go, Papi, let's go. There was very little finesse there from Wayne. He very much so brute forced it, but did it in the end. Very inefficient fights, but he was able to brute force it. He made use of his bank, and we have a series. We have a back and forth. Whew. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into our next game. Here we go. The Killbot lurkers will eventually shut down with enough Hydra sacrifices. True, true. Oh no. But here we go. We're getting to the next game. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Maganatha, we have our... Oh my god, he's 12 pulling. Oh no, he's done. We have our purple Zerg player from South Korea, representing Team Hyper 1. Still leading the series, still 1 game away from claiming the series. It is a 3-point. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can tie things up. It is Wayne. Hey lad, how does Zerg counter Proto Storm? Lurkers, Lings, Banelings, Ultras, depends on what kind of position, what kind of composition you have. Broodlords, there are a lot of ways to counter a High Templar composition. Yeah, you got plenty of options. Plenty of options. It does depend on like the game state of where you are. But regardless, let's go. Let us go. We are getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 4, and again we're 12 pulling. We're going to be 12 pulling. Now, do we 12 pull drone pull into a spine rush, or do we 12 pull and expand? We have the answer. We're expanding. Okay. So at 3-point, he will not pull the boys. He's just going for a regular 12 pull. Hello. 3-point. What's going on? This is not a regular 12 pull. He is expanding, that is true, but with these two workers, 3-point, he can afford some sunken colonies. He can afford some colonies. He can afford to attempt a not so dedicated spine rush here at the natural. We'll see what he can pull off. Meanwhile, Wayne, going for the high ground spawning pool, does reduce service area here where spine coolers or sunken colonies can be placed. Is going to be a hatch gas pool opening here by Wayne. And here come the colonies. The colonies have arrived. They make their way into the base. The boys are being pulled. And can they get this around? Lings, they move into delay sets around. Colonies are on the way. They're morphing in. Oh, and this is going to be brutal here. Lings are just barely popping out in time. But they're going to finish. Yeah, they're going to finish. No, is this how it ends? Is this how it all ends, papi? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the colonies do finish. The natural base is forfeit. Lings, they're going for the... I mean, the spawning pool is exposed. No shot. The pool is exposed. It's going to go down as well. Queens do barely pop out in time, but the spawning pool will fall. Massive pick off. Oh, no! Oh, Jesus. He pulled away too soon. Did pull away too soon. The Broodlings, they can help defend. They can help deal with these colonies. But Lings are cleaned up. The Queen gets targeted down. Ay, ay, ay. There's one Queen left. And remember, 3-point expanded. Remember, this was a macro 12 pool. He expanded, he's droning, he's saturating. 3-point is looking comfortable. It's going to be on Wayne to recover. Wayne, he has a comparable drone count, but remember, Wayne's on one base, and Wayne doesn't even have a spawning pool. Oh no, another Queen goes down. He went within range of the sunken colony. Another Queen goes down. Not like this, papi. Not like this. Oh, no. Three-point about to teach Wayne a new build. True, unironically. He's going to teach YoungYakov a new build. Yakov, he's watching, papi. He's watching. He's like, oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Oh, no. As we do have an extra wave here of we're just containing. He just sends 2 drones. He sends out 2 more workers. And he's just containing. Just containing Wayne. Wayne is forced to go into one base lair, into one base roach. Ay, ay, ay. Back at home, 3-point, he can just freely drone. Yo, we sending more? Yo, 3-point, calm down. Like, we just need a drone and get a lair. He's crazy. He's an animal. He's sending out more drones to throw down more spine crawlers, more sunken colonies. We don't need this. We're good. Oh my god. Jesus. This is like a goblin. Sorry, I almost said goblin build. It's like a golden build. Does anyone remember Golden? What would he say? We're putting my opponent in jail. Where that's what's happening. He's tying it. He's chaining him up. Oh no. Wayne's going to jail. He's being locked up forever. And we're gonna throw away the key. Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. Completely walled in, by the way. Disgusting. Speaking of being walled in, yep, there we go. We have the spine crawlers, the sunken colonies on the way. They're morphing in. Hatch first and Eva is easy, imagine. True, true. Doesn't Wayne know that StarCraft Evolution players don't know how to macro? Or if they can, they avoid it? Just commit, papi, just commit. The non-stop all-ins. Oh no. Smooch. Wayne in a rough position. From here, he's going into one base muta. Sorry, my apologies. That's 3-point going for the Spire, going into muta play. Again, it's going to be one base lair out of Wayne. Oh, no. And eventually, the roaches will break out. Eventually, we can morph in Ravagers, right? We can bile down on this from the high ground. We can bile as much as we can. Actually, just going for the Nidus. That's one or the other. Sure, works. There is no Overlord across the map. Overlord here in the center as well. 3-point, he sees the Nidus worm, so he knows what to look out for. Yes, he's under house arrest. Can't leave, papi. Wayne said, I just want to touch some grass. No. Can't leave us. You're locked in forever. Always casting StarCraft. True. Sorry for the like general answer, Mr. Melancholia. It's just a bit of a vague question. Like, there are more specifics depending on the specific situation. Yeah, meters are real. GG gets called, and a 3-point. He will claim the series 3-1. He will advance on and become this week's StarCraft Evolution League champion. GG. GG, well played, congratulations here. 3-point will claim it. Shout out to Wayne. He did make a series out of this, and Wayne, he had a great comeback, or I don't know if I want to say comeback. It was an interesting game nonetheless on Troy, where we had Wayne struggle and stumble his way into the late game, but eventually did overwhelm and eventually did break through thanks to his greater bank. But with that GG, well played. 3 points, he will still claim the tournament nonetheless. Congratulations. And shout out to Hyper1. I just see Hyper1 in the chat. Of course, Hyper1 is the person behind Maganatha, so it's his fault. True, it is Hyper1's fault. Everyone blame it. Hold on. Exclamation mark for nada at. There we go. Is the person behind Maganatha, but also I think he is also working on StarCraft Evolution League as well. So Hyper1, without him, this event would not be possible. So big shout out to Hyper1. Has dedicated a lot of time to StarCraft Evolution, and with that has been able to provide for these tournaments as well. So GG will play. Congratulations to 3 point. When it comes to future StarCraft Evolution Leagues, I don't know if there's been a decision made yet when it comes to the format. I know that this was the first time where they did adjust the semifinals to best of 5s instead of best of 3s. So I don't know if we're going to commit to that moving forward, if we're going to wait for like player feedback, what their thoughts are. Personally, I do enjoy it just because I think we said this at the time. In general, StarCraft Evolution League, StarCraft Evolution matches are shorter. In general, there's a lot of all-ins currently in the meta. There's just a lot of all-ins, a lot of aggression, and because that games are much shorter than normal, or than StarCraft 2. So in an effort to at least extend series to force out more games, like I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to decisions made behind with the tournament organizers and the players as well. You know, we'll see what they prefer, what they do enjoy. Regardless, GG will play. Congratulations here to 3 point. And this is a bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks, we do host another StarCraft Evolution League. We do try to cover them on live. Don't get me wrong, we try to cover them live. But recently, we've just been so busy with everything else, with a GSL, with regular StarCraft 2 tournaments, with the May Mayhem, with Fire Cup, with Sparkling Tuna Cup, and also with RSL. This weekend we have the Revival StarCraft League. We're going to be fixated and focused on that. Their qualifiers are throughout the weekend, 3 days straight of qualifiers. Likewise, we have the Fire Cup, Anonymous Cup as well. Let's quickly switch on over to our schedule, as there is a lot going on. There is a lot going on. As you can see here, we just wrapped up with our morning broadcast on Thursday. This evening we have the podcast. Tomorrow we have There we go, the first revival qualifier. We have OC mid-season playoffs on Saturday. We have RSL qualifier Saturday evening. We have the May Mayhem Sparkling Tuna Cup and more Fire Grow Cup Anonymous Cup as well. So there's a lot of content throughout the week. Next weekend, DreamHack Dallas. Next weekend is going to be DreamHack Dallas. Then we get Star Zagora, GSL Season 2, Home Story Cup, Cheesadelphia, and the Sao Paulo Brazilian StarCraft Circuit Tournament as well. There are just so many offline events coming up in the next 2 months. Everything is condensed, everything is just insane, and it's going to be just a very busy period for us. Unfortunately, because of that, it means that we most likely won't be able to cover certain StarCraft Evolution events live, whether it's StarCraft Evolution League or StarCraft Evolution Masters or StarCraft Evolution King of the Hill or Kung Fu Cup, but we will do our best to catch up on them via replays. We'll do our best, and by the time the EWC season goes or dies down, by the time we get into our next off season, then we can most likely start casting everything live again. It depends. Like, there's a lot of plans in the works for more StarCraft 2 tournaments to kind of pick up where EWC left off. When it comes to like Wardy's events, Pigs events, or even joint events like RSL. So there's still a lot in the works, and a lot planned, of course, to replace and to step in during the off season. But most likely we'll have more time to cover these events live during the off season, just as a heads up. It's just been very busy, just been very intense and very busy, and just a lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft has been going on. Advance on to the non-existent trophy ceremony. Let's go, let's go. But with that GG, and we are going to be wrapping up here for the morning. I say for the morning. Of course, we are going to be live once again for the podcast later on this evening as well. We are going to be live, and I do think that we're going to be wrapping up things for the time being. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up things for the time being. I mean, I did say that we were going to be having a ladder stream today, but yeah, it's been busy times as of late. Busy times. Do we ladder today? I might ladder before the podcast. I might have a ladder stream before the podcast. I think today our goal is to catch up on some VODs, of course. Have to catch up on some VODs, do some things IRL, and I think I will do a ladder stream later, but not immediately after this stream. So we're going to be going off. I might come back in a couple of hours for some more StarCraft ladder, just a short ladder session, just a short one. Right now, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I gotta go get some food. We'll be live later on this evening. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid who is live at the moment. Who can we send everyone over to? Who is available? We should give some love to Enki. Enki, he's a new CranKy Duckling. He does cast in Spanish, of course. I think he's covering some GSL content, but give him some love, give him some support. It's our boy. Wait, is he still live? No, did he go offline? No, Enki. No. Who else is live? I see Practice X. Cosmos, let's go. We'll find someone. So regardless, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.